Happy Thanksgiving, y'all.
Turkey time, turkey time. Turkey time, turkey time. Turkey time, turkey time. Turkey time, turkey time. Gobble, 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 stop. 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 Turkey time, turkey time.
What's going on, everybody? And welcome into our 2025 Thanksgiving special. Hope you like that little intro right there with the turkey bird gobbling up greatness. This is Isaiah with James Gonzalez here for our 2025 IM6 Network Thanksgiving special. It's a yearly tradition, so this year we're having it now, but what a great Monday Night Football game. Well, it was for me. I don't know about for the rest of you guys, but we got a lot of things to get into sports world-wise and also some Thanksgiving fun in the show. It's gonna be a little bit of a longer show, but still, it's a holiday special. It's a great time of the year. This is James. How are you doing tonight, my friend?
I think I got worse after that special intro of Thanksgiving and the sounds it was making. And then I had to watch the Monday night game, which was just kind of ugly too.
Well, what do you mean? It was great. I mean, my quarterback played well. No, he didn't. But
No,
we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that in a bit. But yeah, if you guys like what you guys saw, go ahead and like the show. If you like, what you saw with that little turkey, feel free to give your comments on that video. But yeah, I'll give it over, turn it over. Yeah, what's up?
Or complaints.
Complaint to HR. I will give it to my guy James Gonzalez to take it for the rest of the program here on our Thanksgiving special. Go ahead, James. The floor is yours.
Like Isaiah mentioned, the 2025 Thanksgiving special, and we're doing this right after the Monday Night Football game. It featured the Carolina Panthers taking on the San Francisco 49ers in Santa Clara, California. And the recap of it, well, first half, man, it was ugly as hell. Brock Purdy threw 3 picks over the middle, and 2 of them went to J.C. Horn. I mean, they looked so damn easy. Then there was another one as well. But the bad part is you have a young team like Carolina that just could not capitalize on that. All they did was basically get a field goal off of it, or maybe a couple, but that was it. Brock Purdy, with those 3 picks, luckily was able to overcome that throw for a touchdown to Jennings earlier. But the 49ers won 20-9 over Carolina. The 49ers go to 8-4 in that really, really tough NFC Western division. So they stay in the running of that, of course. And then Cincinnati. Carolina goes to 6-6. Remember, they had a shot to take the division tonight if they had won, because Tampa Bay lost to LA yesterday. So it was unfortunate. They really could not take it over. Some notes on the game. McCaffrey had a touchdown running as well. Kittle had 6 receptions for 78 yards. But Purdy threw for 193 yards. I guess you give credit to Carolina's defense for, being at the right spot at the right time. Purdy has those throws where he tries to really bullet past them up the middle, and it really hurt him tonight. Either the safeties were going back, or the linebacker was going back in the cover two, getting back there and disguising some blitzes, disguising blitzes, going back on it. It was a good job on those 3 picks. But Bryce Young, 1 touchdown, but 2 interceptions. He threw for 169 yards. And then the 49er defense, other from, one rushing rush of 17 yards, did a job on Rico Dottle, and he only had 6 carries for 38 yards. So that's something to be proud of. And also, Dowdle was the leading receiver for the Panthers too. So San Francisco did a good job on McMillan. He only had 2 receptions for 35 yards. Coker 3 for 32. Hubbard 4 for 27. So they really did a good job defensively. I mean, both teams did after a while, but it got away from the Panthers. Again, a young team trying to figure out how to win. And one thing, Isaiah, and this will be my last thought about the game here, the Panthers, they're one of those teams right now that are, and you just hate it too, because they're at 500 right now, and they're one of those teams that are winning 1 week, losing 1 week, winning 1 week, losing 1 week. Literally, just look at their their results and their schedule so far. Just some letdown losses and some lucky getaway victories, and that's just the tale of a team growing up in front of our eyes. And then 49ers, again, they just had a solid defensive game. They were asked to carry, I think, the load a little bit more after those interceptions. But even with all those injuries, they did a swell job. What do you think, Isaiah?
Yeah, I thought the Niners got lucky. This is not a game that I'm proud of that we won. In the first half, I was watching the game at my local McDonald's, and I was absolutely losing my mind. Because Brock Purdy and some of those interceptions were just bad. Like that second one, dude. Like I swear I was eating a cheeseburger and almost threw it on the floor because, I mean, look at the picture of it. Look at the picture of it. I don't know if we can show it. I'm trying to find the picture of it, but if you watch the replay of him when he's rolling to his left and he, throws it deep for the end zone. I know he likes to take risk, but look at all that green grass in front of him, dude. The guy had he was at the 50 or 49 yard line of the Panthers. He had wide open green grass, not a single Panther defender in the area by 50 yards, and he could have just walked in for a touchdown. Or at least got a 30-yard run and put the Niners deep into Panthers territory. Why are you even throwing that? You're rolling out to your left anyways. The lane was wide open. And he somehow just decided to throw it. And yeah, you could have thrown it, that's fine. But Kittle was coming from I believe right to left, and it would have been a 4-yard dump off pass. But if he just flicked it to Kittle, well, Kittle also could have had a 40-yard catch and run. So that was just such a bad pass by Purdy. I was losing my mind on it. I think that was the first time I've ever criticized Purdy. I was like, damn, Purdy, what are you even doing on that one? The third one was not the third one was a great play by J.C. Horn, and that guy's going to be a superstar corner, if not already. But yeah, I mean, the Niners were just begging the Panthers to win the game. 4 turnovers. Was it 4 or was it 3? I thought it was 3.
I had 3.
Yeah, because they had 3 turnovers, almost 5 actually.
There was a fumble by, I think, McCaffrey. But
yeah, he got a punch down.
He got it back, though. Or offensive lineman went, I think it was McLivitz or whatever. He went down and got it, and it was actually a first down.
Well, it's crazy because I watched that play. The Panthers guy had 2 guys. One guy actually got the ball, but then he fumbled it when he was on the ground. And then the other offensive lineman tried to go get it. But you know how offensive linemen are. They're not shifty enough. So the Niners guy ends up getting it. But yeah, it was almost four turnovers. Should have been five, actually, because if you look at the one where the Niners scored the field goal, Purdy had like two passes that were like right in the defender's hands that got picked. That should have gotten picked, but Carolina just didn't capitalize. I mean, the Niners were basically giving the game to the Panthers, especially in the first half. I mean, Carolina should have been up like 27 to like 7 at that point in the game. Like the first the one where like Purdy throws the first pick, they go down and they don't even score. I mean, they go for it, I believe, it's 3rd and goal. Bryce Young could have ran that in for a touchdown, but he decides to throw and he gets picked off. And then the other one was, I believe, and then they went to 3 and out a couple of times. It was just like Bryce Young and Dave Canales cost the Panthers the game. Bryce Young is just garbage. I don't know what really a lot of people make of him. Like, I've never really thought of him as a really like good quarterback. I think he's like decent, but I mean, he's too small. Like, a lot of the times the dude was getting like his passes batted down. He wasn't seeing the field. The defenders were all in his face, so he was throwing it late or behind guys. And then the play calling, like, I don't understand what Canales was doing. Some of those play calls, like, first thing, go with the one, right? After you had a Bryce Young run, why not push, or why not run it in with Rico Dowdle instead of calling for a pass? Like, it doesn't make any sense what the Panthers did. Canales and Young cost the Panthers the game. Like, this is a game like the Niners won great and all. The defense played an outstanding football. Credit to Robert Saleh, Jair Brown. I know I've been getting on him, and the secondary. They played really well in limiting the Panthers receivers. But, dude, the Niners should have lost this game. But, I mean, it's a good win, but we should have lost this game. The Panthers, they just couldn't capitalize. And I'm blaming Canales and Young because the bad play calling, and then Young's just putrid quarterback play. Like, every time Young stepped on the field, you're like, yeah, you don't really, besides that one throw down the field to McMillan, you were just like, yeah, like, this guy's not an NFL quarterback. Like, you just didn't fear him like you would if it was like Matthew Stafford or, someone like that. But I'm not proud of the way that we won tonight.
I think it depends on who Bryce Young is facing. Like, defensively, their scheme just depends who it is. And, Saleh going back to the job where he had the most success, that he just schemed the best defense he can against Young, and maybe Bryce wasn't ready for it. And he's all about developing and, going to his 3rd year now. And, but he's doing better.
He's doing better, yeah.
It's not enough against the elite teams, let's just say.
No, it's not. And James, if I may add, like, one more thing about Purdy is, dude, Purdy's got to get, like, I know Purdy, it's only his 2nd game back, and he played a really good game against Arizona, but, like, the thing with Purdy is, like, it's really good, and Troy Aikman brought this up on the broadcast tonight. Like, there's sometimes like, the thing about Purdy is he takes a lot of risk, which, okay, that's great when it works, but when it doesn't work, like, for example, that play where he had 50 yards of green grass, we're going to just ran it in for a 50-yard touchdown run. He needs to take those, and like, Purdy's got to like play better because, like, the Panthers, they're not really that good of a team. So I knew, like, yeah, okay, we turn over, it's not going to be that big of a deal because, we're a better team. But to go against the Eagles and some of these other teams, Purdy's got to, like, Purdy's got to get his head out of his ass. That's what.
Okay. Week 12, we could do the recap and reaction. It started off with Thursday Night Football with the Houston Texans hosting the Buffalo Bills. And Houston, in their defense, got to Josh Allen early and often. They hold on, did Houston 23-19. Houston at 6-5 now, and all of a sudden that AFC South division is getting close with the 3 teams there, minus Tennessee, who's at 1-10. But Buffalo at 7-4 now, and they're only in the wild card. You look at Josh Allen's numbers, 253 yards passing, 2 interceptions, no touchdowns at all. He was sacked 8 times by that great Texan defense. James Cook did have a good game on the ground because that was all that what was going on. He had 116 yards rushing with a touchdown. Uh, Shakir had 8 receptions for 110 yards, but nobody after that did anything, and no receiving touchdowns. And Shakir also did lose a fumble. And then Davis Mills, 153 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, no picks. It seems like he's running the offense a little better than C.J. Stroud did this season. And it's just weird to say that. I don't know what the hell's wrong with Stroud. I don't know if his injury is just really affecting him that much that he can't play anymore, or play the same at least. I don't know. The rushing, though, Woody Marks had 74 yards rushing. Christian Kirk and Jalen Higgins had touchdowns receiving for Houston. Nico Collins had 55 yards receiving. And then you look at the defense. Danielle Hunter had 2 sacks. Will Anderson had 2.5 sacks. Tim Settle Jr., Derek Barnett had 1 sack, and then Mara Edwards Jr. had a half of a sack as well. Oh yeah, Henry To'o also had a sack as well. But you could just tell they were getting to Josh Allen, like I said, early and often. And Houston, I know they have a tough schedule coming up, but they're really, really doing well defensively all year long. And it just starts with up front, and they've just done it. And then Buffalo, you're worried about them. They're kind of like Detroit, where they're not the same as last year, where something's missing, where they go game by game. They have a good game, then they have a bad game. And I remember a couple of weeks ago when they were saying, "Oh, Josh Allen, he needs a prime receiver after a bad game," and then they have a good game to say, "Okay, everything's like last year. Everything's okay." It's just weird with Buffalo right now. Just something's missing, like I mentioned. But what do you think of that Thursday night maybe surprise with Houston winning that game over Buffalo?
I was shocked because I thought with Davis Mills versus Josh Allen, the Bills were going to beat the Texans, but they were going to blow them out. But I was actually, so I didn't watch this game. I'll confess to that. I was actually at the Sharks game tending to some business. But I saw the game on the bar, and I was like, dang, the Texans are beating the Bills. Like it was 20-16 at one point in the game. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. It was a weird game. Like the Texans defense is definitely one of the best defense in the NFL, and they showed it. But James, I'm worried about, you talk about the Bills offense being like something's missing. I'm worried about the Bills defense. I mean, they were getting gashed a lot in this game, and they were getting torn apart by a backup quarterback, and it was just crazy to see them just like get shredded by a backup quarterback in Davis Mills. Like Davis Mills was running the offense. He was running it great. Houston was running the ball really well. But that Bills defense, dude, like all year long, they've just been getting gashed. Like they can't stop the run that well. Their secondary is kind of inconsistent. I'm worried about that defense because in the playoffs, we know like with Buffalo, who knows like if they're going to make the playoffs or not. They're trailing New England now in the division. I think the division is pretty much a wrap for New England at this point, with them up by 3 games, and they got the tiebreaker. So it's essentially 4 games. But I think with the Bills, like whoever you play, Josh Allen can only do so much. But that defense, they got to step it up because we know Buffalo's defense has never been like the best of the best, but it's not been like this bad. So I'm very concerned about the Bills defense. I know with Josh Allen, he'll be fine. The offense will be fine. They ran the ball pretty well with James Cook, but that defense worries me come January.
You know it. All right, the other Sunday game, the Sunday games, I should say. We'll start in the morning game. Chicago held on to beat Pittsburgh. This was a good back and forth game. Chicago won 31-28. Chicago goes to 8-3, first in the North. Who the hell had that? And then Pittsburgh at 6-5. They are losing the division to Baltimore as Baltimore continues to win. Mason Rudolph had 1 touchdown, 1 interception, threw for 171 yards. You're not expecting much out of him. Remember, excuse me, Aaron Rodgers has the left wrist injury, so he was out against the Bears. I know he really wanted to play though. Gainwell had 92 yards rushing. Warren had a touchdown on the ground for the Pittsburgh receivers. DK Metcalf only had 5 receptions for 22 yards. So the Bears did well with the defensive side, not allowing too much where it would hurt. There was also, I think, a strip sack in the end zone by J.J. Watt, and it was recovered by a Steeler. So that also helped with the scoring, or else it would have been even worse. For the Chicago Bears, Caleb Williams, 239 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, no picks. And if it wasn't for Daniel Jones, and this still could be, this still could change, but my comeback player of the year, it's between those two guys, and I guess right now Caleb Williams would win that award if you're going week by week. He's really shown some impressive steps forward in the Ben Johnson offensive system. Excuse me. Some great throws over the middle. Just making things happen, even with his feet too. But the throwing is so much improved from last year. So the Bears, they're doing so well. DJ Moore had 2 receiving touchdowns, as well as their tight end Loveland. The Bear defense got active as well. Montez Sweat had a couple of sacks, plenty of tackles, but yeah, the Bears, I think, just showing what the process is and what they're doing well. Meanwhile, the Steelers, man, just all year long, you feel like they've been on a rise, and then they can fall just as hard, and that's just how they are this year. What did you think about that win by Chicago over Pittsburgh?
Dude, that was a crazy game. I mean, I thought Pittsburgh had it in the bag. I thought the defense for Pittsburgh was going to hold it down late, but Ben Johnson and the Bears have done this like all year where like when they're down and like you think they're out of it, they just come back with some fancy offensive plays. But yeah, dude, the Bears are like one of the most surprising teams in the NFL. Like I thought this year with the Bears, I thought, okay, like they'll probably get to maybe like 6 wins at most, and that's it. And now they're 8-3. I know they still got the toughest part of their schedule coming up, but Ben Johnson has Caleb Williams playing at an extreme level. I mean, he looks like a different quarterback out there. You see the arm, you see the confidence there. But and the Bears defense, I mean, Dennis Allen, this defense was one of the worst defenses in the NFL last year, and Dennis Allen has completely turned it around. I don't know if Dennis Allen might get another head coaching job. Who knows? Because he's failed twice now, but I mean, this guy's a really good defensive coach, but Ben Johnson, like what he's brought to the Bears is just unbelievable. And for the Steelers, like it's the same thing goes with Buffalo. Their defense, like the Steelers defense was supposed to be one of the biggest strengths for this team with Watt and Jalen Ramsey and all those guys. But that's like, and everybody thought, okay, the offense will be the weakness, but the defense has actually been the weakness this season, which is crazy because you never thought that. Like they gave up 30 plus points to Justin Fields and the Jets on opening night. You could say like, oh, it's opening day, so what? Like everybody's got like months to game plan, but that still was embarrassing that you gave up that much points to Justin Fields and made him look like a competent quarterback. So Pittsburgh, I'm worried about their defense as well. Like we know Aaron Rodgers is going to come back and that offense will be humming, but that defense, like they got to play like the old Steelers. If they can play like the old Steelers defense, then they will look like a Super Bowl contender. But right now, that defense is just awful.
It's so bad that Ramsey actually asked to be moved from corner to safety. He's just not as fast anymore, and he doesn't cover as well. So that's really bad there. Next game, Patriots and the Bengals in Cincinnati. Drake May, led the team to their 9th win in a row. Shout out to, Ben Cruz, of course. They go to 10-2. The Bengals go to 3-8. This was a 26-20 win. Each quarterback did throw a pick six in this game, I want to say. But May threw for a touchdown, 294 yards. Hunter Henry had a stellar game. 115 yards receiving, 7 receptions, 1 touchdown. Marcus Jones had the pick six for New England when Joe Flacco he got beat on that play. It was a 33-yard interception for a touchdown. He read that so well. Like I said, Joe Flacco started. Browning came in late. 183 yards passing, 1 touchdown, 1 pick for him. Chase Brown finally had a good game, 107 yards rushing. Rushing. T. Higgins had to leave the game late. He only had 31 yards receiving. Geno Stone was the one who had the pick six for Cincinnati. And this was a game, of course, that the Bengals were without Jamar Chase for spitting at Jalen Ramsey last week. So who knows if they would have had him, maybe the Bengals would have shocked New England. But instead, it went the other way, and the Patriots continue to be in first place and shock everybody. Isaiah, what did you think about this game, and do you think Jamar Chase would have made an impact?
To answer your second question, no, because I think the Bengals defense would have found another way to give it up at the end, even if they scored a touchdown, or if they made it a very competitive offensive game. I do want to give the Bengals defense a lot of credit though, because they did play pretty well in this game. They got after Drake May. They got a pick six, so they actually played well considering that they've been awful the whole season long. But yeah, my two biggest takeaways from this game is the Patriots again proved why they are my team to beat in the AFC. Like they consistently are able to win games at any form. Like they can outscore you. They can beat you in a defensive battle. They can beat you when the game started at 10 a.m. Pacific time, and it's like they're half asleep for the first half, and then they come up and beat you. Like they can just beat you in any way, and it's been very impressive what Mike Vrabel has done in his first year in New England. I know Drake May didn't look that great, but they ran the ball well. The defense played well, like they've had all season long. But yeah, New England just proved again that look, this is a team to watch in January because like with Gillette Stadium, it's going to be cold, but they can win a game any sorts of ways. And that's what I've been very impressed by them. They don't have like one way to win it. Only they can win it in all styles. So I've been very impressed by them. And then the second takeaway for me is like, it's not even about this game. It's about the future. If you're the Bengals, why are you even pushing to bring back Joe Burrow back this season? Like, why? Like, it doesn't make any sense, James. Like, I don't get it. Like, you're 3-8. You're trying to bring him back for the rest of the season when, like, you play Baltimore coming up on Thanksgiving. You're probably going to lose that because, yeah, your offense can score, but your defense can't, like, stop anybody. Then you play the Bills. Then you play, I believe, the Chiefs after that. And then you play I believe, the Steelers and then the Ravens. Like, dude. Like, you're bringing him back for the hard stretch of the season when you're 3-8. You're not going to make the playoffs. You might as well just tank at this point. Like, I don't get it. Like, why are the Bengals trying to bring back their quarterback who's been hurt, like, the last 3 years? He's been hurt 4 of the 5 years of his career. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, it really does. And like, I don't know what the Bengals are doing. Like, I'm pretty sure, like, and I don't wish injury on anyone, but if Burrow comes back, he probably will get hurt again because of that offensive line.
Yeah, what if? That's a big risk. I know it's a Thanksgiving game, but the long-term health and the duration of the career is more important, however long it is. Next game was up in Detroit. The Lions held on in overtime because of a Jamar Gibbs' rushing touchdown, then in overtime rules made it that the Giants had to possess the ball and the Lions were able to hold them. 34-27, the Lions get the win over the Giants. This is what I'm talking about though with the Lions, Isaiah, where um, they're not blowing out people, and if they are, it's only 1 or 2 games this year. They're playing, close games with people, and they're either winning them close or they're losing them close. We saw that with Philadelphia, I believe, last week with Detroit there. But getting to Jameis Winston, man, he had a really great game. Yards wise, I guess, passing 366 yards in the air, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. Gunnar Orlowski threw a touchdown to Jameis Winston. Jameis caught the ball on the sideline. He had about like 16, I think it was what? No, it was a 33-yard reception where he had to catch it and he stiff armed someone and then spun off a tackle and scored. It was the coolest thing. And that's just, as McAfee said earlier this morning, that's Jameis Winston football right there. Tracy Jr. had 62 on the ground. Wan'Dale Robinson actually really stepped up this game. He had a receiving touchdown with 156 yards receiving. Hodgins had a receiving touchdown. As I mentioned, Jameis Winston had a receiving touchdown. It's crazy to think. Jared Goff had 2 touchdowns, 1 pick, 279 yards in the air. Jahmyr Gibbs, though, 15 carries, 219 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns. His longest was a 69-yarder. Nice. Amon-Ra St. Brown had 9 receptions for 149 yards, 1 touchdown. Gibbs had a receiving touchdowns as well. And I could tell you this morning, I want to say the Giants fired their defensive coordinator today. So they already fired Brian Dable, and now they fire their defensive coordinator. And you know what's funny though is like, hey, the Giants, maybe they're building their offense, but maybe their strong suit would be their defense. But their first round pick hasn't really done anything this year. I forget his name, but Abdul Carter. Abdul Carter really hasn't done much. I was expecting more out of him. But it's one of those games where you didn't expect it to be close, but this went in overtime, and the Lions happened to win. And again, it's just one of those things, just like the Bills, where the Lions are kind of pulling out games, but still they find themselves outside the. I don't know. We'll find out later if they're in the playoffs right now. But with the 6-4 record coming in, Detroit wasn't. So, what do you think about this wild one in Detroit?
Yeah, my biggest takeaway is that the Lions are not true contenders at all. And I
Something's
honestly
missing.
think, what's that?
What's missing this year from last year to this year? Is it the 8 different coaches that left to go somewhere else? Like, what's missing with the Lions this year?
I feel like honestly, I think it's the 8 different coaches that were gone this year. Ben Johnson is a tremendous play caller, like you're seeing right now with the Bears. Tremendous offensive play designer as well. So it's missing that, and I think like Dan Campbell just hired the wrong guys. John Morton, who's the offensive coordinator now, he's the guy that's known for like a smash mouth type of offense. He's never really been known to be a creative offensive like play caller. He's just known for like running the ball, have power running, playing that Jim Harbaugh like Stanford old days, like smash mouth style of play. But that's not the Lions. Like the Lions are a team that, yeah, they do run smash mouth, but they also find creative ways to air it out. But John Morton was a major downgrade. They also brought in David Shaw, former Stanford coach. He's their passing games coordinator, and you saw Stanford, the final year's passing game, they sucked.
By the way, Dan Campbell actually took over play calling duties offensively.
Yeah, I saw that from John Morton. So that is not, that's not a good sign right there. But yeah, it's that. And also like I don't think people really thought that this was going to be a big issue for the Lions. But did you know that the Lions, 3 of their 5 offensive linemen this year or from last year are gone?
Well,
Two of
one
them, I think, like
retired.
one retired, and that was a
Yeah,
shocking retirement because he was like 20 something too.
right.
And he was one of their better ones. And then the other 2, I think, left in free agency to
Skipper
go.
retired.
What's that?
Dan Skipper. I think Dan Skipper was the one who retired.
So no, Skipper was like the
Or
Skipper was like the backup. So he retired, but
okay,
I think
yeah,
Glasgow or whatever his name is, he
yeah,
also
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Glasgow, that was a big one because he was one of their best offensive linemen and nobody expected him to retire. And then he just called it quits suddenly. So they just don't have enough, like Goff's not getting enough time to throw the ball. Their offensive line can't block for the running backs. And then defense, I don't know about you though. Like James, I've never really been like that high on their defense. Even when they had Aaron Glenn and all those guys, like their defense just never really was able to consistently stop people and hold people
Okay,
down. So
so the one thing I did notice from years before, and this showed in playoff games, where they would give up the big plays deep. Like they were able to, stop the rush and then put pressure on the quarterback. But when that didn't happen, they would give up big plays down the field. And we're kind of seeing just everything um, being able to happen bad for them actually, where now it's like it's not only the big plays, it's the either the lucky plays happening or the little runs or the big runs happening. So I think that's again Aaron Glenn going for a head coaching job. You knew it was bound to happen. Ben Johnson, same thing. But yeah, whoever they got to replace, just the schemes aren't right or the personnel. I know it's. I think Robertson isn't having a year like he did last year. And remember, with Detroit, it was always their secondary that was their Achilles heel for the Detroit defense. They would give up those big plays down the field. And maybe that's a problem too. You saw
yeah.
Wendell Robinson's numbers or heard his numbers where it looks like he just had a big game all day and that was down the field. Uh, let's move on, I
Sorry, I
guess,
was on mute,
to.
but
Okay, go ahead.
yeah, I was just gonna say, like, yeah, the thing with Detroit is like, I also think James that they're still recovering from that traumatizing loss to Washington in the NFC
Yeah,
divisional. Like, I could see that, like, I could see a hangover from that because nobody expected them to lose that game. Like, nobody expected them to lose, and then for them to like have Super Bowl expectations and just fall flat on their face like that takes a long time to like recover. So I think it's that, but I don't think it's just one issue. I think it's like just a bunch of issues with Detroit, and that's why like I honestly don't really think that like they should be taken as like true contenders this year.
it's funny. You can kind of have Buffalo and Detroit, like I mentioned. We all wanted them in the Super Bowl last year, but now the questions are being asked. Hey, are those windows both closing for those teams? You have to wonder about that. Um, Speaking of windows closing, JJ McCarthy and the Vikings just had a poor Sunday yesterday against the Packers at Lambeau. Green Bay won 23-6. Green Bay goes to 7-3-1. Meanwhile, the Vikings go to 4-7. JJ McCarthy, or number 9 as he likes to call himself, had 87 yards passing only and 2 interceptions, and those looked bad. I mean, he had one where he overthrew the last interception. He literally overthrew it to the safety there. Jordan Mason didn't have much on the ground, along with Aaron Jones. I bet that's odd for Aaron Jones to go back there the last couple of years to Lambeau. But Justin Jefferson 4 for 48 only. Hawkinson 4 for 19. Nothing for Addison or Thielen. I mean, that's how much either the Packer defense really shut him down, or JJ McCarthy right now is that bad in his quote rookie year. Remember, he got hurt in the preseason last year against the Raiders in his first preseason game, and that was it. For the defense, though, Green Bay defense, they they really got to McCarthy there. 5 sacks, 2 by Devontae Wyatt, um, 2 by Michael Parsons. He had a bull rush up the middle on 1. And luckily, McCarthy got out of the end zone, or else it would have been a safety there. But Warren Brinson and Isaiah McDuffie both had a half of a sack as well. So the defense was doing the job right there. McDuffie also had a pick along with Evan Williams. Evan Williams had the last interception. And then you could say the defense won the game probably for Green Bay. Jordan Love had 139 yards passing, and that was pretty much it. He's really regressed this year. I mean, to the point where you're not going to replace him. You're paying him $55 million a year, but he's really having a tough season. Just the confidence isn't there. He's bringing that Packer tradition around where he's throwing off his back foot. If you ever notice, he continues to do that, and that gets him somewhat in trouble. Emmanuel Wilson, though, the backup running back, there was thoughts that Jacobs was going to be ready, but Josh Jacobs could not go. That was a game-time decision. But Emmanuel Wilson had 2 rushing touchdowns, 107 yards on the ground. Watson at 5 for 49, the leading receiver for the Pack. But they were just lucky that Emmanuel Wilson had a good game on the ground, or else maybe the Vikings would have kept it to, a field goal game. So what do you think about J.J. McCarthy and just the downfall he's had this season? And Jordan Love, the same thing. And then the Packer defense being the strong suit of the team right now.
I'm going to do a Shaquille O'Neal victory lap, victory lap, victory lap. Was I right or was I right, James, on this? I tried to tell people before this season and before last year that J.J. McCarthy was not worth the hype and that he was going to be a bust. And the reason why is because, dude, if you watched him at Michigan like I did, J.J. McCarthy wasn't a bad quarterback. He was an okay quarterback, but he was just a guy that was carried by a talented
not a next level quarterback, right?
Yeah, like exactly. He's not a next level quarterback. Like he was okay, but he was just being carried by guys like Blake Corum and a stacked Michigan offensive line. I mean, the guy had so much time to throw the football, so much his offensive line was getting so much push for Blake Corum and Donovan Edwards and all those running backs that they had there. Like they won that national championship because they were so physical and they had a stacked team. But McCarthy, I don't think has ever been that great. Like he's just been okay. Like, so when everybody was like typing up like, oh, Kevin O'Connell is going to be so good with him and the Vikings got this guy to take them to the next level, I was like, dude, let's hold on that. Like McCarthy, he's like a game manager in college, and that's not good in the NFL because if you're like a subpar game manager in college, well, in the NFL, you're going to be bad. And you're seeing it now. Like he's too small. He can't see defenses. He can't read the defenses as well. And here's the thing also, James, he keeps getting hurt. Like he hasn't played. And I wasn't making fun of him, but I was just pointing it out like a couple weeks ago. The guy hasn't played 3 games in a row before he finally did. Well, guess what? He played 3 games in a row just to prove my ass wrong. And guess what? In game number 4, he gets hurt again. So, and now he has a concussion. So he's injury prone. And even when he's healthy, he's on the field, the guy can't even, he's not that good of a quarterback. So, I'm not surprised that you're seeing what you're seeing because that's what I saw in Michigan. It's a guy that's a subpar quarterback. He should honestly be a backup quarterback instead of a starter. I don't know why Minnesota invested so much into him and drafted him that high. Like if you look at before Jim Harbaugh started talking him up, the guy was supposed to be like a 3rd round pick. And that makes sense, like as a 3rd round pick. But then Jim Harbaugh was talking him up before the draft, and then he all of a sudden jumped to a 1st round pick and jumped to pick number 9? Was it number 9 or number 11?
I think it was number 9.
That the Vikings got fleeced with that. Like that was just ridiculous. Like that's where you got to trust your eyes. In that sense. But McCarthy being bad overshadowed the regression of Jordan Love. I think that's the biggest concern from the game because the with how bad McCarthy was and how dominant your defense was, you should have dominated the Vikings even more than you did. Like, you only put up 19 points. Love was awful in this game. Like you said, he regressed, throwing off his back foot. I mean, we've seen that in his second year against the Niners in the playoffs. That last interception, he throws off his back foot, and you're like, oh shoot, and that's why he got picked. But I'm worried about Jordan Love because, in the playoffs, you're going to have to rely on him, and he just hasn't been able to deliver. And you would think, like, okay, he would correct this by now because he's in year number, what, 5 as a starter, or 4 as a starter now? So 4, yeah. So, like,
No, 3. No, wait.
Is it year 3 for him?
23, 24, 25.
Okay.
So third.
Yeah, so year 4 as a starter. I don't know, like, I still got questions about Jordan Love, which I never thought I would going into year 3 as him being a starter.
Like that first year, okay, you were just gonna give him a break. It's just starting up. I think not having a number 1 receiver, not having Matthew Golden be as promised. Remember, he was a first-round pick this year, and he's hardly been on the field. I feel like he's just
never heard his name.
No, he was out this Sunday too. I was hoping he would have progressed a little more. Jacobs, up until his injuries this season, was running well. They're just lucky they made that trade getting Parsons, and then everybody feeds off of that. The Seahawks won in Tennessee 30-24. It was not as close as the final score detects. Seattle goes to 8-3. Tennessee with the worst record at 1-10. Sam Darnold, 244 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, no picks. Kenneth Walker, the third, had 11 carries for 71 yards. Charbonnet had a touchdown as well. But Jackson Smith-Njigba is having a hell of a year. 8 receptions, 167 yards, and 2 touchdowns. I remember Fox had a bet thing going. They were like, which of these 5 receivers will have the best game out of all of them? And I remember saying to myself, Smith-Njigba against that Texan, defense. Titan defense. Oh, hell yeah. That's easy. So Smith-Njigba he also had a 63-yard catch along with the numbers there. Let's see. Anything else? Okay. Seattle had 4 sacks on Cam Ward. Cam Ward did throw for a touchdown, 256 yards passing. He was also the leading rusher with 37 yards and 1 touchdown. Not much. Shamir Deke had a receiving touchdown as well for Tennessee. But that's pretty much it. This was good for Sam Darnold to have a game like this. But it was really expected. I don't think there's much to say about this one.
Yeah, not much to say. I mean, the only thing was, like, I did, coming into this game, I actually thought the Titans would win because I thought that, I did on the Midnight Express a couple of days before. I said that I actually picked the Titans because I was like, okay, traveling a West Coast team traveling to like an East Coast team is tough. They're not going to wake up. And then by the time they do wake up, they're going to be down. So I thought that, Seattle would be, just asleep at the wheel coming into this game, but, credit to them. They came up to play, which I was very impressed by that. They were actually down pretty early, I think, in this game, but they did rally back. But I mean, yeah, the Seahawks were the better team. Good defensive plays. Offensively, Sam Darnold bounced back. I mean, they did what they had to expect, and Tennessee's just a mess, man. Like, they just can't wait for the season to be over at this point.
Yeah, Mama said there'll be days like this for Cam Ward and the Titans as they try to figure it out. It'll be another, 3 to 5 years. Another game that wasn't too exciting. Baltimore at now 6-5. They tie the Steelers in that North. They defeat the Jets 23-10. The Jets are now 2-9. King Henry ran for 2 touchdowns. He passed 3 good running backs, including Marshall Faulk was one of them for rushing touchdowns in this game. Lamar Jackson, 153 yards passing. He's just coming back. Flowers at 58. For the New York Jets, with Tyrod Taylor starting 222 yards passing, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. He was sacked 3 times. Brees Hall had 44 on the ground. Brees Hall also had 75 in the air. But this was it was one of those ugly games. Lamar Jackson got sacked just once, but um, it was more about King Henry. You wanted to see him get in the end zone, and now Baltimore's running. I think they've won 5 in a row. I want to say. I might be wrong on that, but yeah, Baltimore is just doing everything well right now, and they've caught the um, the Steelers, and they're doing so well. What do you think?
Ugly game. I mean, the Jets had turnovers, penalties. I think they were penalized like 10 times in this game. And then the Ravens, not as bad, but kind of similar. But yeah, this was just one of the ugly games. Look, everybody knew the Ravens, once they got Lamar back, they would be, back to where they are, and they certainly are now with them, offensively, and them, now it's 6-5. They've caught the Steelers. Steelers had a chance to run away with that division, James, but they just
Yep.
didn't capitalize, and now here we go. And you kind of expected this, even though the Ravens started at 1-5, but I'm going to be interested
But
to
in
see
that
that Ravens.
division,
Yeah, exactly. And and then they welcome in the Bengals now. And look, the Bengals, they're reeling. I don't know if Burrow will come back in that game. I think it will be a mistake to bring him back. But I think with the Ravens, look, they're hot at the right time, and if they're a team that I still got to see them beat Kansas City, but they're a team
yeah,
that's going to be like, they're going to be back at the same spot come January.
it's amazing to think just how one player, dynamic player, can change everybody's mood or mode of how they play. Um, Speaking of getting back into the thick of things, Kansas City had to make a comeback over Indianapolis, and they did. Butker hit the winning field goal in overtime. Kansas City won 23-20 over the Colts, who are now 8-3. Kansas City at 6-5, still on the outside looking in from the wild card position. Daniel Jones and the Colts had a good first half when it comes to the offense, but second half wasn't as good. 181 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, no picks. Jonathan Taylor will stop this game, and Kansas City's forefront did a good job up front there, only allowing 58 rushing yards, and then really nothing from Tyler Warren, 45 yards receiving. Pittman with 27, no a touchdown. Ogletree also had a touchdown, but Chiefs defense did a good job corralling them, especially in the second half. Mahomes woke up after a slow start in that game. He threw for 352 yards, no touchdowns, but 1 interception. And he was sacked 4 times, and he finally got out of it. Kareem Hunt had 30 carries for 104 yards and 1 touchdown. Kareem Hunt has really taken that job away from Pacheco. Pacheco's been hurt pretty much the whole year, tried to play on it. But Rashee Rice, 8 yards and 8 receptions, 141 yards receiving. Xavier Worthy, 4 receptions for 59. Kelsey, 4 for 43. And I mentioned the receivers too, because late in that game, well, especially second half, fourth quarter, and in the overtime session, it seemed like Rice or Worthy was getting open over the middle, over and over and over again. And that led the Chiefs down the field to score points. And that led for their comeback. I think they were Chiefs were down 20-9 at one point, and they come back and win by 3. It feels like a letdown for the Colts. It feels like they're kind of slipping a bit. Meanwhile, it feels like the Chiefs are the Chiefs again. What do you think?
Yeah, my thoughts on it is the Chiefs. I don't know how they get away with this. I mean, the coach should have won that game. The Colts were leading that game. They were looking like, it was their time and Kansas City's time was over. And then Mahomes' magic just happens. And the Colts, they should have won that game. I can't believe they let the Chiefs off the hook. And it's kind of like the Ravens, like you knew, even though they were down, you expected them to be where they were like late in the season. And yeah, here they are with them, them being not on top. not on top of the AFC West, but in the playoff picture for sure.
Yeah, they're on the outside looking in, but only by a game or so. It's just funny how Jacksonville continues to hold that spot. We'll talk about them pretty soon. Let's get to the afternoon games, and only one kind of stood out. But let's get to my misery. How about that? Shadur Sanders, of course, had his first start with Dion looking on his father from a suite at Allegiant Stadium for the Cleveland Browns. They get the win 24-10, no doubt in this game at all for Cleveland. The Browns improved to 3-8. The Raiders downgraded 2-9. Shadur Sanders 209 yards passing, only missed 9 passes out of 20. 10 per average too, which was really good to see. Was sacked only once, threw for a touchdown, threw for 1 pick. Jake Jokins on the ground had 47 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns. Sampson had 1 touchdown and 59 receiving yards, and then he had the 66-yard pass from Sanders. Vaughn had a 52-yarder from him. A couple lost or 1 fumble loss, but the other recovered. But the defense did well, of course, for the Cleveland Browns. Myles Garrett, if I'm reading this right, I'm trying to remember. Okay, he had three out of the 10 sacks on Geno Smith. I thought I was dreaming yesterday. But yeah, it was 10 sacks on Geno Smith. No wonder he flipped off the crowd after the game. The Raiders, offensively, Geno Smith, let's talk about him. 285 yards passing, 1 touchdown. No picks this time. That's weird. But he was sacked again for 10 times. JT, 17 carries for 50 yards only. Just no offensive line there at all. Mostert, 1 carry for 2 yards. What are we doing? Tyler Lockett was the lead receiver for 62 yards and 4 receptions. JT had a receiving touchdown late. Bowers, 55 receiving yards on 6 receptions. Just an ugly game for the Raiders, which led to Chip Kelly being fired. And we talked about that yesterday, the offensive coordinator who has failed in the NFL, but will probably go to college and kind of succeed again. And you just wonder if Pete Carroll will end up quitting or he'll fire his sons. We'll see which one comes first, if either comes first. Just misery for the Raiders. But you look at the Browns here, turning this positive. The only way I could do this was Shadur Sanders. That's the first Brown to get a win, his first start getting a win since 1995. And it was the replacement, I think, for Vinny Testaverde. And the name eludes me right now. But that was 1995, the last time a Cleveland Brown won his first start with the team. Think about all the quarterbacks they've had since they came back in 99. I think it was 42 quarterbacks now. And none of them were able to get their first win until Shadur Sanders got the job. Now, I'm guessing the Browns will go forward with Shadur Sanders, even though Dylan Gable cleared the protocols or whatever. But Sanders looked good, and everybody was hoping for this for Shadur Sanders.
Yeah, how about Shadur Sanders? I mean, he looked amazing in that game. Just throwing the ball like up and down the field. I mean, he had a pick, but still, I mean, I was pretty impressed by what he did. Just putting the ball perfectly to the tight end Fannon's hands, and in the receivers as well. That 53-yard dime. I mean, that was impressive to watch. But you know, the Browns, look, they should have started Shadur, I think, from the beginning, but because I knew Dylan Gabriel was not going to be that great in the NFL. I thought he wasn't bad, but still, like, why not take a chance on Shadur and see what he does? Now the Niners play Shadur on Sunday at 10 a.m. In Cleveland. It's going to be snowing in that game, so yeah, that's going to be an interesting game to watch, but the Raiders are a mess. I mean, I watched that game because it was on here before work, and oh my gosh, the offensive line. Yeah, I now know what you see every week. The offensive line is terrible. 10 sacks in that game. They couldn't run the ball. Junty couldn't run the ball with him. the receivers suck.
What
The
receivers?
defense. I mean, yeah, true. What receivers? The defense. I mean, there was this one play that I watched where, like, and I know you know where I'm going to go with this. 3rd and 12. Browns are backed up deep in their own territory, and Shador is about to get sacked. He he lobs it up for Fannin, not even a throw, like a lob to Fannin, and somehow Fannin, like, who is stood up like 6 yards before the first down, somehow manages to muscle his way for the first down. Like, I'm just like, how? And you have 3, 4 defenders on him, and he just still gets the first down. Like, the defense is a mess as well. I think Patrick Graham should be fired too, with Chip Kelly. And I think, like, Pete Carroll, honestly, he probably will be gone too. Like, I never understand why you guys even hired Pete Carroll. He was washed up in Seattle. You bring him in, and, I don't get it. But yeah,
I think
the
it
Raiders
was
are.
Tom Brady move.
Yeah.
Just say, hey, get the one with the most experience and the most winning.
But here's the thing, like we talked about last night with Chip, is like it doesn't align with the GM. Like the GM wants to
No,
rebuild, and then Carroll wants to win. So like it doesn't
right.
really make any sense. But yeah, I think Carroll's probably going to step down to the end of the season, and uh, yeah, it's just ugly. And here, the worst part for the Raiders is, like we said last night, you tanked for like a top pick. There's not even that many good there's not even
No,
any like top quarterbacks that you're like, okay, this guy's a franchise quarterback coming out of this draft. So, I mean, if you're the
right.
Raiders, you should honestly draft a tackle. That's what I would do with the top pick. But shout out to the Browns. I mean, Shador looked good. I was honestly hoping that they would, like, because they have Shador, they have Gabriel, they had Flacco. I was hoping they would give Bailey Zappi a chance at the end of the
Well,
season. Maybe they will when the Niners play the Browns next week, or this week. But and I'll be thankful for Zappi versus Purdy. But but
for sure.
uh, but yeah, Shador played well. Very impressed, and looking forward to seeing what he does moving forward.
Yeah. Yeah. Changes will be definitely made a little more with the Raiders in Vegas. Jacksonville defeated Arizona in overtime. That's some good overtime games this week. 27-24. Jacksonville improves to 7-4. They hold their wild card spot there in the AFC playoff picture. Meanwhile, Arizona goes to 3-8. Trevor Lawrence, 3 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, 256 yards in the air. And Travis Etienne Jr. had 86 yards rushing. Brenton Strange, their tight end, had 93 yards receiving. Parker Washington, Jacoby Myers, of course, and Travis Etienne Jr. all had receiving touchdowns. Lawrence was sacked 3 times. Jacoby Brissett had 317 yards passing and 1 touchdown, but he was sacked 6 times. And then your boy, Clean Slovis, actually came into this game and threw for
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
-2 yards. Uh, Michael Carter in the ground,
Of course.
five, 5 carries, 28 yards. Bam Knight had a rushing touchdown. They were without DeMarcado in this game today, or yesterday, I should say. Michael Wilson had 10 receptions for 118 yards. Greg Dortch had a receiving touchdown as well. So it was just good to see Jacksonville take care of business in this game, because you don't want to lose. If you're in a progression state and you're trying to keep the playoffs, you don't want to lose to an opponent like Arizona. It gets tougher as you go down the season, and how the South is kind of condensed now. But yeah, good that Jacksonville got this win in Arizona overtime. What do you think?
I'm glad that my boy Keaton Slovis actually got to complete a pass for the first time. You know
Man,
what's funny, James, is you remember, like, in baseball, the funniest stat is Jeff Bannister in his career finished his career 1-for-1 batting 1,000. Well, if Keaton Slovis doesn't play another snap again in the NFL, he can say that, hey, I was 1-for-1 in the NFL. for -2 yards. That was my numbers.
Okay.
I completed a pass. I threw for 1,000%, and my yards were -2. That's funny. But yeah, I mean, I think for the Cardinals or for the Jaguars, it was a good win by them. Trevor Lawrence played well in this game. I liked what he did. I know he had that one pick, but the Jags played a complete game. Offense, late in the game, went down the field and scored. The defense, held its own late in the game. But the Cardinals, they just can't win close games. When it comes down to it, they just cannot win it. Every time it goes down to the wire, these games, they just cannot win. And now I wonder, is Jonathan Gannon on the hot seat in Arizona? It's year 3 now. Do they give him an opportunity to pick a quarterback? If they get a top pick in this upcoming draft, because they are going to move on from Kyler Murray. His defenses the last couple of weeks before this game was not great. It gave up like 40 plus points a game. So there's a lot of questions that need to be answered this offseason in the desert.
Okay, let's move on to the second to the last afternoon game. This one was uneventful in a way. The Falcons win 24-10 in New Orleans. Falcons go to 4-7. The Saints go to 2-9. But this was all about Kirk Cousins getting his groove back. He threw for 2 touchdowns. They ended a 5-game losing streak, and that, I guess, felt really good. They were, of course, without Drake London. That's why my fantasy team really lost. Bijan Robinson had 70 yards on the ground rushing. Cousins 199 through the air. 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. He was sacked 3 times. Mooney had a long touchdown catch. You noticed that I think in the 49er game as well. I think that was a Sunday night game in Santa Clara against the Niners, a Falcon game earlier this year. He was dropping a lot of passes and some with big play potential. And finally, Mooney was able to hold on to one for a touchdown for Atlanta. Meanwhile, the New Orleans Saints are playing the season out. Tyler Shock. Is that how you say his name? Shock?
That or show. Like I don't know.
Show
Either
or
show
shock.
or shock, yeah.
They say it sounds different than what it looks like. Anyway,
Yeah.
threw for 243 yards, 1 interception, no touchdowns. He was sacked 5 times. He also was the leading rusher with 22 yards. What the hell happened to Alvin Kamara, dude? He had 3 carries for 100. He wishes 111, 11 yards only. It just seems like the last couple of years, either he's not being used right or he's not playing at all, or he's out there but he's not getting the ball. I don't know what's going on. Olave had 70 yards receiving. Not much from this game, just that Kirk Cousins, that insurance policy for the Falcons really helped out in this one.
Cousins got his groove back, and guess what, James? He might have gotten his placement back as the franchise quarterback of the Atlanta Falcons. Yeah, I'm going to go that far. But here's the thing. Michael Penix is coming off another torn ACL. That's 4 torn ACLs now in his career. So with Penix, like, I don't know if he's going to get his mobility back, or even when he was out there, he wasn't even any good. So like now you have you have a lot of question marks at quarterback for Atlanta. Is Cousins back as the guy? I mean, you've got a lot of money tied to him. Is Penix the guy you drafted him with a very high pick? Or do you have to go out and get another quarterback, which is going to be, an even crazier situation. But I liked what Kirk Cousins did. I liked what, he hasn't started in a very long time. And for him to be able to do what he did, I know it's against the Saints and I know they suck, but still, that was pretty impressive. Tyler Show, I guess that's his name, but I don't know. Well, Shock, I don't know. But I thought he was he was more impressive than the stats show. He was I know he got sacked 5 times, but that offensive line sucks, so they didn't help him out. But when he was actually given time, he dropped some really nice throws in. So I was very impressed by that, and he was able to execute Kellen Moore's offense to a T. I know they don't have the best weapons there, but yeah, he was pretty he was pretty impressive, and I want to see how he develops moving forward. That's going to be the thing. If I ever have to watch a Saints game, that's going to be what I'm going to be keeping my eye on. But hopefully not. I don't have to watch a Saints game.
Yeah, why would you? All right, let's get to the best game of the day, possibly. The Cowboys came back from 21 down to beat the Eagles, 24-21. The Cowboys got the winning field goal from Aubrey. They go to 5-1. Eagles go to 8-3. Prescott had 354 yards passing after a slow start in this one. 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. He was sacked once only. Javonte Williams had 20 carries for 87 yards rushing. Let's see. George Pickens had a receiving touchdown, 9 receptions for 146 yards. CD Lamb 4 for 75. Ferguson 5 for 40. The Eagles with 289 yards passing from Jalen Hurts, 1 touchdown. He was only sacked once as well. And then he was the leading rusher with 33 yards only. Saquon Barkley, 10 carries for only 22 yards. He's definitely had a regressing year, I would say, Barkley. I think just defense is probably keyed on him a little more, either showing a disguise and the Eagles get out of, certain plays for him. A.J. Brown had a big game finally after complaining about not getting the ball. 8 receptions, 110 yards, and 1 touchdown. Devontae Smith, 89 yards on 6 receptions. But it wasn't enough. The Eagles started to turn over the ball late. They had this big play. Xavier Gibson had a horrible, horrible decision on a punt return. I believe it was in the 4th quarter, I want to say, where he fumbled the ball. He returned it from the 1-yard line, a punt. And that's something you never, ever want to do. But this player, I forget his name. I'll look it up right now for the Cowboys. He came down, part of the special teams for Dallas. I'm looking up his name. Elijah Clark came down. He was hit by Sidney Brown once and twice. He got up and went all the way down from like way on the other side of the field, came down, hit Gibson, fumbled the ball, and then the long snapper, number 44, was able to pounce on it. That's just amazing to think that type of play was really the game changer. Not only that, but then Saquon Barkley had a ball ripped out from behind, and the Cowboys were able to recover that. So those little mistakes from the Eagles really cost them the game. And it was just really a surprise that the Cowboys were able to come back and win. But I think it was more about the Eagles just giving up this game with just mistakes and turnovers. It was a thriller, though, that I don't think anybody expected.
Yeah, no, certainly not. Especially when the Cowboys went down 21-0. But James, the mistake you forgot to point out is the Eagles should have been in position to kick a field goal to win the game, but it's 3rd and 2. Yeah. They're in their own territory. Who calls and this is why I hate play callers so much when they do this. 3rd and 2, your offensive line is just absolutely crushing the Cowboys. Why would you call a passing play? Like, you have Saquon Barkley. Heck, you could run Jalen Hurts on a read option, or you could run tush push a couple of times, and somehow you call a passing play, and Jalen Hurts gets like sacked 12 for 12 yards. And I thought that really changed the game, because if he gets the first down there, the Cowboys, I don't believe, had any timeouts, or they would have to use their timeouts. But still, like, why would you call a passing play? You could tush push, or you could run the football there, force the Cowboys to use a timeout. And if you get the first down, or if you get it to 4th and 1, you can just tush push it like you've always done. But I just don't get what the Cowboys or the Eagles were doing there. Shout out to Dak Prescott. He played extremely well. Some of the throws late, especially the one to Ferguson. Down the field, that was great. But I think for the Cowboys, CD Lamb had a crucial drop in that game, even though it doesn't matter now because they won, but that still was huge. It was the one where they,
Yeah.
third and goal, I believe. He just had in his hand. You got to catch it. And he's been dealing with a lot of drops this year. And you know what I've been wondering, James, is what's wrong with Saquon Barkley? He's just not the same. Like he's not the same. He doesn't have the same speed. It seems like he can't break tackles and get out of it. Used to it takes like two people to get him down to the turf. Now, like one person can just wrap him up. He's just and the fumbles. Like you never saw Saquon fumble last year. Like I don't understand. Like what is wrong with Saquon Barkley? He's definitely like
Okay.
maybe it's injury or something, but he doesn't look the same, and that's going to be a big deal because if the Eagles want to go far in the playoffs, they're going to need Saquon to maybe definitely be a lot better than he is this season.
Like I mentioned, though, I think more teams are figuring him out, and that's why they couldn't run the ball, so that's why they didn't do it that situation. And we've seen it too, though, where on third and short, fourth and short, where they go shotgun and they throw the ball, which pisses me off. But in that case, they couldn't run the ball at all that game. The Dallas forefront there, Quentin Williams, I think he got banged up in this game, but they did a great job defending the rush. And then with Saquon, he got paid this offseason, and I'm hoping that's not a case where he doesn't have to go as hard anymore like he did last year and prove that he can do it. I hope that it's nothing like that. I really don't, man. That would really piss me off because everything he did last year was just amazing. Jumping over people, scoring all these
Yeah,
points and
yeah.
all these runs. But you just hope it's either he's playing with an injury, he's not telling anybody, or he's just not going as hard, or the defenses have just schemed so well on him to the point that, well, I can only do so much. The offensive line was banged up too. Think about that. Lane Johnson is out for the year. They also had both centers, I think. No, I forget what game it was, but there was a game where both centers left the game. I can't remember
Is
what
it
it
Lane
was.
Johnson that's out, or is it Landon Dickerson that's out for the year?
It was Lane Johnson,
Oh,
but
okay.
Dickerson also left the game too.
Yeah, Dickerson left the
Um,
game. I know.
yeah, so maybe that's why they didn't get to rush the ball like they would as well. But yeah, that's been an issue all year for Saquon. We'll see going forward if it affects them and they can't repeat. I think it's that simple.
Right.
Sunday Night Football. The Los Angeles Rams had a banner evening at SoFi Stadium. They, I guess, retired the number or something of Aaron Donald. I don't know if they retired. Well, I guess they do retired numbers, and he would be one of them, number 99. They also gave away Aaron Donald bobbleheads, which is pretty cool to think about. You never see that in the NFL, just like, in the other sports. You never see that with the NFL games. But yeah, they gave away Aaron Donald bobbleheads, and it was just a banner night. The Rams won 34, says here, yeah, 34-7. They've been on a roll. They've won so many in a row. I feel like 9-2 is their record. 34-7. Tampa Bay goes to 6-5. I just got to give a shout out to the Rams. They were giving out these towels last week. I was at the Seahawk Ram game when they wore their midnight blue uniforms. So I got a couple of these. I'm gonna give some away. These are pretty cool, Ram things. I'm beginning like you to have like other teams, stuff, and it feels weird, but
I'm a
maybe I'm
great
allowed.
influence, am I?
No, not at all, especially on the phone. Matthew Stafford threw for 273 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks. He was sacked one time. Kyron Williams, 46 yards on the ground, but they did most of the damage, in the air. Puka Nacua, 97 yards on 7 receptions. Devontae Adams had 2 touchdowns. One was right away, like right on the fade route to the corner. It was awesome, and he's been getting these 1-yard catches. I think he has 15 of them now. I want to say, where it's just the 1-yard fades, and he's done it all his career. Green Bay, the Raiders, the Jets, and now with the LA Rams. It's an easy target. And Stafford just knows how to lob it up there. He's just amazing like that. Nakua though, man, he always gets those third down catches, and he's making plays, either down the field on the slant or going to the end zone on a route there. He's just been amazing. Parkinson also had a touchdown. He's becoming their best um, tight end for the Rams. Jared Verse had a couple of sacks. And then also Kobe Turner had a couple of sacks. Kobe Turner also had a interception return for 50 yards, pick six for 50 yards, which he took it away from the tight end Auden and returned it all the way back. It was amazing to see. Emmanuel Forbes Jr. also had a pick at the end of the first half. It was just, like I said, a banner day for the Rams. The negative side, Baker Mayfield hurt his left shoulder. He got an MRI, and I cannot remember what they said, but they got good news on the MRI. They'll see if they're not ruling him out for Sunday against the Cardinals, but we'll see if there's a hold on him. We'll see. Teddy Bridgewater came in and relieved him. Mayfield did have the 2 picks and 1 touchdown, and he was sacked 2 times along with Teddy Bridge. It was weird seeing Teddy Bridgewater out there, especially with his dreadlocks now. Tucker was the leading rusher for Tampa Bay. They're still missing the other running back, not White, but the other one. Abuka only had 3 receptions for 32 yards. Tez Johnson had the touchdown for Tampa Bay. Anyway, it was a banner day for LA. Or night.
Yeah, this was the coronation for the Rams as the best team in the NFC. You look at what happened offensively. Matthew Stafford airing out the ball to Devontae Adams, and then Puka Nacua had a couple great catches. And you talk about the tight end Parkinson. I've been very impressed by what I'm seeing with him. But I think this was more about the defense. I mean, the defense holding this Tampa Bay offense. I know Baker went out in the second quarter, but this game was a blowout already in the first quarter. It was like 21-0 in the first quarter of that game. That the Rams defense completely shut down the Bucks offense. I was very impressed by that. I didn't expect that. I thought that the Rams would and the Bucks would be a shootout, but this was a just completely one-sided affair. And man, the Rams, they look so good, offensively and defensively now. Their running game as well. They've got one of the best coaches in the NFL. So this was the Rams making a statement that they're the best team right now in the NFC.
And it's amazing to think just how all that has changed with the Rams. Stafford the last couple of years have been unable to, practice like he wanted to in training camp, and all of a sudden he's going out there and doing it. All right, let's get to college football, and let's do a little pick 'em, Isaiah. With rivalry week coming up, we got some good ones. Ole Miss and Mississippi State, the Egg Bowl, which I didn't know there was a name for that. For me, I guess I'll go Ole Miss, but Mississippi State will definitely make it a game. What do you think with that?
One of the things I like about Thanksgiving is that in college football on Thanksgiving week, it's rivalry week. So you get all these rivalry weeks. And even though it might not be the game might not be let's say you got one team that has a really good record, the other team has a really bad record, they always have they always end up being a really good close game because both teams want to play for pride and they want to they don't want the other team to have the bragging rights over them. So Ole Miss, Mississippi State, the Egg Bowl, 2 good offenses going at it. Mississippi State can't defend. Ole Miss is a lot better defensively. I have a feeling, James, that the Lane Kiffin thing will swirl around Ole Miss, and it will just be like a big nonstop distraction. Because remember, they said he's going to announce his decision after the game. So, it might leak before that. The players might already know. Is this game at Mississippi State or is it at Ole Miss? Do you know?
It is at Mississippi State. They're 5-6. Ole Miss is 10-1, and Ole Miss is favored by 6.5. And then Ole Miss is now number 6 in the nation, by the way.
I'm actually gonna go with the upset. I'm gonna go with Mississippi
Woo!
State. Yeah, I'm gonna go with I'm gonna
Sweet.
go with it being in a shootout because these two great teams always play shootouts like every single year it seems like, but it's gonna be a shootout. I think it comes down to the wire, and I got Mississippi State winning on a game-winning touchdown at the end. I don't think Ole Miss will be able to stop it, and I think with Lane, we'll talk about him in a little bit, but it's not going to be pretty because if they lose this game, I could see Ole Miss missing the playoffs because they remember the committee has a precedent of like, hey, if your quarterback's not there, if your coach is not there, they could leave you out. Remember, they did that with Florida State, so I could see that being a big controversy. But give me the upset. Give me the Mississippi State at home Thanksgiving or the day after Thanksgiving morning, upsetting the Ole Miss. Upsetting Ole Miss in the Egg Bowl.
Wow. That would be something. All right, staying in the SEC, you got Alabama at Auburn, the Iron Bowl. It used to mean something. It hasn't in a while. Alabama's number 10 coming in at 9-2. Auburn, the Tigers, at 5-6, and Alabama is favored by 6.5. This is at 4:30. The Ole Miss game is at 9 a.m. This is West Coast times, of course. But yeah, Alabama and Auburn. Auburn barely beat. Oh God, I forgot who they played, but they beat them like 63-17. But it was against, I think it was against Mercer. I want to say. Anyway,
Yeah,
Bama beat. It was all cupcakes last week, and this is what I hate about the last week before rivalry week. They give like the SEC schools like the patty cakes, and I hate that crap. Anyway, you get the Iron Bowl. It seems like Alabama's going to win this, right?
it's crazy because speaking of rivalry games, this game when it's at Auburn, something funky always happens. Even when you least expect it. Alabama's got the better quarterback. Alabama's got the better offense. Auburn, they don't have a quarterback, but it's in Jordan Hare. But I gotta go with Bama. Like I think having no quarterback, like not a good quarterback, is gonna hurt Auburn. And plus, Alabama needs this game because if they lose this game, they have another loss. They're gonna drop out of the SEC championship, and there's a legit possible chance they drop out of the playoffs as a whole. And Kalen DeBoer might get his ass fired. So I'm gonna go with Alabama to win this game, but I could see this game being close just because, like I said, every time these two teams meet, something always crazy ends up happening.
Now, what sucks about the next game, it's at the same time as the Mississippi game, the Egg Bowl, but you have the big game. You have Ohio State at number 1 at the Big House. Michigan, who is ranked number 18. Ohio State at 11-0. You can say they haven't been tested yet. Well, the ultimate test. After losing 5 games in a row, I think, to Michigan. Will be Saturday at 9 a.m. on Fox. Michigan's 9-2. I didn't think they were going to be ranked at all this year, and with their freshman, I don't know if he's freshman quarterback, young quarterback, he's done very well. Solid running game, as always, and the weapons are there. This is the game I've been looking for, and I know an Ohio State fan, they were just looking forward to this game because they knew they were going to run the table. Like they had no doubt about beating Indiana, anybody else in the Big Ten, any of the non-conference opponents. Screw them all. They want to beat Big Blue. They hate blue. So, or that team up north, as they call them, the school up north, I think they call them. But I think this is a year. Now it depends on Jeremiah Smith. He's hurt. He missed last week, but I think he'll play definitely. I don't know how well he'll do. I'm gonna go with Ohio State in this one, but I hope we get overtime. I hope we get an all-time classic. I'm going with the Buckeyes. What do you think?
First of all, this game is actually going to be on Saturday. So the Ole Miss Mississippi State game is actually on
Oh.
Friday instead of Saturday. Yeah.
Oh, great. Good. Never mind.
yeah. But yeah,
Thank
so you
you.
got that game, and then you got the LSU Oklahoma game at 3:30
Well,
or
no, I'm
12:30.
missing that.
You missed. Okay.
That's all right.
Oh, one game, by the way, James, we forgot to add to the list, and I cannot believe I forgot this, was
Texas
Texas.
A&M and
A&M.
Texas.
We got to add
Oh
that in a bit,
man,
yeah. But, and
Arch
also
Manning.
Georgia. Hey, Georgia Tech, too. We got to add
But
that
Georgia
one.
Tech lost though. It would have been better if
Yeah,
they won.
that's true. Yeah, that loss did take a lot of luster out of it, but I'm gonna go with Michigan, dude. It's in Ann Arbor.
Ooh.
It's supposed to there could be a chance of snow in this game.
Oh my god.
Remember last time when Michigan beat them in Michigan? It was snowing. Michigan ran the ball like crazy. Ohio State's defense has not been tested, dude. They haven't faced anybody. They played
Right.
Texas, but we know Arch sucks. But they just haven't faced anybody, and this is going to be the real test now. We'll see how they hold up. But I think Michigan until Ohio State knocks off Michigan, I cannot pick Ohio State to win. I think Michigan's more physical. Michigan's more dominant with the run game. And Julian Sain going into a raucous environment on the road in the snow. This is going to be the toughest environment he's ever played again or in. He's been good, but he hasn't played anybody. So this will be his first test. He's not going to pass the test. So give me Michigan to win this game and beat Ohio State for the fourth consecutive year.
Fourth consecutive. Okay.
It's fourth, right? Or yeah, it's fourth.
It feels like more though. Just the way that shoot, I still remember I think it was 21 when they started to beat Ohio State. For some reason, I'm thinking 21, 22, 23, 24. I think they've won 4 in a row against Ohio State. Because the first one was at Michigan.
It was at Michigan, yeah.
Yeah, so you go in order, right? You go Michigan, Ohio State last year. So they've won 4 in a row against Ohio State.
Oh, that's right. That's right. So it will be 5 in a row this year. Oh, shoot.
And despite the loss last year, Ohio State was able to rally and just win the whole damn thing, which is crazy. With the excuse me, with the new playoff system, this happens. No more BS. Now we downgrade a little bit to Florida and Florida State, or I should say a lot. I don't know why you put this on here. The Sunshine State battle. Who cares? The Gators and the Seminoles. Who will win this? Who's going to get their coach fired even more?
Well, did you hear Mike Norvell is staying? They announced that
I didn't
tonight.
know that.
So, or they announced that yesterday that Mike Norvell somehow is staying. So, who you picking in that game? I want to see who you got in this game.
I don't care. No, I'll go.
Come on, make a pick. Come on, just for fun, make a pick. Flip a coin.
I don't have one. Nobody has. Did you hear they got rid of pennies? By the way.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. Nobody uses that anyway.
No, I'm gonna go Florida actually.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Florida as well. I think Florida actually beats up Florida State. It's at the Swamp. Florida's more like the physical team. Florida State is too soft. So I'm gonna go Florida. Florida wins it by a lot actually. And then I heard, did you hear that with Norvell staying that they're gonna do more coordinator changes? They just fired both coordinators last year. They're gonna do it again this year.
Wow.
FSU is just a mess, dude.
Yeah. All right. Number 7, Oregon will play Washington. Oregon at 10-1, Washington at 8-3. I think everybody has supreme confidence that Oregon will win this.
Yeah, but I could see it also being close early because it's in Seattle. But I'm gonna go with the Ducks, but I could see this game dragging to the wire because of it's in Seattle. You know the crowd's gonna be into it. You know these two teams, they don't like each other. It's that Pacific Northwest battle from dating back to the Pac-12 days. I think it's gonna be close, but Oregon just seems to do well in close games, so I'm gonna go with the Ducks.
Okay, the one game that This used to be a rivalry, but not really anymore.
Your game.
I'm kidding, of course. The battle for the bell, or whatever it's called. Freedom? No, I don't know. I should know that, but I don't. UCLA at 3-8 will go to the Coliseum to face the 8-3, 15th ranked US. No, they're number 19 now, I believe, after their loss at Oregon. USC Trojans. That's 4:30 at on NBC. Um, the Trojans are favored by 21.5. Like, there's no doubt that they should win this game. They'll get like a mid bowl, but better than they had, the last couple of years. UCLA is just playing out the year basically. But let me just say this: even though I expected a loss at Oregon, the fact that they were in that game last week, I was proud of that. But the stupid mistakes, really came back and hurt SC. I just want them to finish out the year well and just have a fun game and go. If they're, for the seniors out there as well, there's some on the offensive line. I just want them to finish the year well. But definitely, I'm gonna go with the Trojans on this one.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Trojans as well. Remember how everybody like a few months ago were talking high about Tim Skipper and Jerry Neuheisel? Well, that buzz has definitely died down. They've been awful.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, uh, but UCLA, the problem is they can't score right now. Is
No,
Nico even playing in this game? Like, because I know he's been out the last several games.
I don't know that. Let me look that up
I,
because
I,
last week I saw him on the sideline.
yeah, he didn't play. He didn't even play against Ohio State, so that's why like that game was. I mean, that game would have been a blowout either way, but
It was.
yeah, it was more of a blowout because of that.
Oh,
But yeah, I'm gonna go with the Trojans. They're just better offensively. UCLA's defense is not that great.
no.
And then they just can't score now. Like the Jerry Neuheisel hype has definitely worn off. Like people were actually saying Jerry Neuheisel should be the next head coach at UCLA, but I don't think that's gonna happen now,
He's
sadly.
good as the offensive play caller. He's good as that. No more.
Yeah,
Nico
he's good at
Nico,
that,
by the way, is day to day like us, like everybody.
of course.
Yeah, the talk about the year, Neuheisel. What's his first name again? I'm sorry.
Jerry.
Jerry Neuheisel. So the way that they carried him off against Penn State, that felt like a movie. Remember that scene right when the clock went triple zeros, they carry him off. I saved that picture for some reason
Yes.
because it felt like a freaking movie. And like I said, I hate UCLA, but that was a defining picture of like the dark cloud UCLA was in for that moment to get out of it for those couple of weeks that they had of peace and winning, and all that kind of went away after a while with losing. But that was just some of the rivalry games. If you have one in your area, go check it out.
Texas A&M. We got to pick that one, bro.
I'm gonna go Texas A&M, but Arch Manning is on one right now.
Yeah, hey, he's been playing well.
4 touchdowns, 3 touchdowns a game.
I think it's gonna be. I think A&M wins, and it's gonna remind us of Georgia Texas, where it's like a blowout because Texas is just not physical enough against SEC, like real SEC competition.
Ooh, all right. So yeah, if there's a game going on, maybe go to a game. Senior nights, wherever you go. San Diego State's having theirs. I forget who they're playing though. I should know that, but they are having a great year. They're probably going to get 10 wins. Just 2 losses. Just a great year for San Diego State. They beat Boise State last week pretty handily. They're just making strides, and it's great to see that locally here. Okay, so the biggest story I think in college football right now, Isaiah, I'll ask you about this here. Lane Kiffin reportedly deciding between staying at Ole Miss or going to Florida or LSU. He will make a decision after the Egg Bowl on Friday. I should have read that part. Do you believe, Isaiah, that Kiffin should stay at Ole Miss or head for greener in money pastures in Florida or LSU? Before you answer, I think he's going to stay. What do you think? Oh, looks like he's gone, but he'll be back soon. We hope. But yeah, with Lane Kiffin, I feel like he should stay there and then just try to go to the highest level possible. But if he feels like this is the highest level possible that they can get to and see what kind of run they go on, maybe he'll make a change. But the only thing is with the transfer portal being like right away instead of in the off season, you don't want to get behind. So you kind of want to leave on a worser note so that you're not having the team in the playoffs. You're not abandoning the team in the playoffs, getting ready for your new team, if that makes sense. Isaiah, what do you think though? Will Kiffin leave or will he stay at Ole Miss?
I don't think he should do any of that. I think he should run this back, to be honest. Hold on. Hell yeah, he should run this back. Go to the Raiders. Come on, man. You know you want Lane Kiffin back, James. You know you want that back. But jokes aside. By the way, there is a picture of him talking to like a Raiders number 11 guy. Who was that again? It was number 11. Was there a quarterback that was 11? No, right?
Not in these times, no.
Not in the Kip. Okay, so it probably was Janikowski.
No, that was Janikowski.
Oh, okay. But yeah, it'd be funny to see, like, it would be funny to see Mark Davis rehire him with a projector this time, linking the Rays. Yeah.
Because Al fired him with a projector.
Yeah,
hours or whatever.
Yeah, Al Davis fired him with a projector, but it'd be funny to see Mark rehire him this time with a projector, listing like why he should. But jokes aside, this is crazy. I think honestly, I believe he should go to Florida because, like, I think that with the Gators, the Gators known for scoring points. Lane is from Florida. He's always looked up to Steve Spurrier. I think with LSU, it's too much of a mess. I mean, they forced out Brian Kelly. Even though Brian Kelly wasn't even bad, he just didn't get to 11, 12 wins every year and into the playoffs and meeting expectations. Like, those are the expectations at LSU, that you have to always be in the national title hunt. While at Florida, it's like, let's face it, the expectation is like USC. It's kind of taking a step back. They're just like, okay, let's be in the playoffs now. Like, they've been starved for so long to get to that relevance again. But I think he should go to Florida. I think Florida, Florida's got a team I feel like is ready now. They like their defense is very good. Plus, I would love to see Kirby versus Kiffin, Georgia versus Florida. That would be awesome to see every single year. And I think Kiffin would have like the firepower to be able to beat Kirby on a consistent basis. But I think that's like, if you're Florida, you need Lane Kiffin because you need to reestablish yourself as that big brand that you claim you are. And you need that top tier coach. And LSU, I just think is a mess. Like, you got the governor involved in stuff. You've got there's just so much going on there, and there's the expectations are just very unrealistic, I feel like. Plus they fired Brian Kelly because he wasn't getting into the playoffs constantly, and he wasn't winning 10, 12 games and stuff like that. Like, I just think that's ridiculous. But I've never, James, I want to ask you, do you understand the hype about Lane Kiffin? Like, I've personally never really understood it. Like, people are saying that he might get at his next stop, he's gonna be paid like the top coach in college football. Like, I've never understood. He's never won a championship. He doesn't win big games. He reminds me of James Franklin, but James Franklin at least won a conference championship. Lane has never done any of that.
Okay, let me tell you why there's hype on him, because of what he did at FIU. And then working before that with Saban at Alabama. They just feel like that he worked with Saban, so he's learning from him. And then you just find that coaching tree, right? You find someone from there. And then, what he did at FIU was rejuvenate that program. And then the same thing here with Ole Miss, and take the program to somewhere they haven't been in a while. So he's just one of the coaches that will, inspire hope that if your program is really down or not up to expectations, that they can get up to where they need to be again or where they've never been. Um, so it does, but it's not going to work everywhere. And that's the cautionary tale about going to Florida or LSU, and the stakes are higher. Now you are going to get better recruits, and Lane's a good player coach. We all know that. We've all heard great stories about him, and just the people he's worked with. So I think that's why um, there's such a hype on him that just follows him everywhere he's gone ever since the embarrassing stuff. I think he grew up a little bit, but he still has that fun attitude that everybody can kind of rally around and you want to play for and that you feel
Right.
comfortable having as a coach. I think that's why there's this hype around Kiffin despite not getting all the way to the top as a head coach.
Right. No, I know I get it, but like to pay him like almost or to pay him close to what Kirby Smart is getting paid this without winning a natty, I just think that's mad crazy in my opinion.
hmm So that's the college football segment. Let's get to the MLB segment. There is a couple of things here, but on what was this Sunday night? This happened. I can't remember. Um, the Rangers and the New York Mets, Texas Rangers, New York Mets. They made a stunning blockbuster trade to kick off hot stove season. That saw Marcus Semien traded to the New York Mets. In exchange, the Texas Rangers get Brandon Nimmo, excuse me, not the fish, and $5 million cash back to Texas. Both have big contracts, Semien more than Nimmo. Um, this was a trade that I think Met fans kind of wondered, like, oh, we're taking on more money for an underperforming player. What the hell are we doing? Um, for Nimmo, I think he was a fan favorite with the Mets. So Mets fans, I think, are pissed either way. For the Rangers, this feels like a slow tear down. You were talking about that, of course. What was your reaction to this MLB trade that kind of shocked people and then made Met fans a little more pissed off?
Yeah, I have I think a lot more questions than I did when before this trade. I mean it was crazy because I was watching football. I was at McDonald's just watching football and just enjoying my day, and then all of a sudden like I'm scrolling Twitter, and then all of a sudden I'm like, what? Like my phone starts blowing up that Marcus Semien got traded. I was like, no way. But it's crazy because Marcus Semien was one of the pillars of our 2023 World Series championship. It's crazy how many players are now gone, like Adolis Garcia, Jonah Heim have been non-tendered. Josh Spores, the guy that threw the final pitch of that 2023 World Series, he's non-tendered as well. And now Simeon's gone. Bochy's gone. Like it just feels like you said, they're slowly tearing it down. Like it's a new. They're going into a new era now. They got a new manager as well. Look, I like Nimmo. I think he's a good player. Like he's very powerful, as a hitter, 265 batting average, 25 plus homers, drove in, I believe, 70 RBIs. Like he's a great run producer and a great hitter. Defensively in the outfield is kind of shoddy, but if his bat plays well, I don't think anybody will have a problem with his defense. But it's kind of like, what's the direction of the franchise? Like, are you trying to trim payroll and just slowly tear this down, like you said, because Seager, there's rumors that he could be traded. There's rumors that Josh Young could be traded. And the Rangers are going to like slowly tear it down. But if you're trying to tear it down and just save some money while trying to compete, well, then okay, you move Simeon, you still get a little bit of money relief that you can spend elsewhere. Maybe you can try to go get like who's going to fill second base? Are you going to try to go get Luis Arise, who is a guy that's a contact hitter, puts the ball in play, which is something that Skip Schumacher is preaching, like putting the ball in play, less strikeouts, less home runs, but put the ball in play. He can fill in at second because right now Josh Smith is trying to fill in it, or he would be the second baseman. You're definitely not going to promote Sebastian Walcott, James, right? The guy that's like our prospect at second or shortstop to second. I don't know. Like, this is just a lot of questions. Like, for the Rangers, like, what are you? Is this like you're trying to rebuild now? You're trying to tear it down and rebuild, or you're trying to like trim a little bit of payroll while still maintaining, trying to win? Then if that's the case, then go out like and you use the money that you have and go and get some players. But hey, if they're able to trade Marcus Semien and have someone take on that massive contract, then Corey Seager and Nathan Eovaldi and Jacob DeGrom, if Texas really does in fact want to try and tear it down and rebuild, now that proves that those guys, they're not off limits when it comes to a trade. So buckle up. It's going to be a crazy offseason for sure.
Reminds me of a song lyric from Linkin Park. We're we're building up just to break it down. Okay, our off-season baseball wishes for the MLB or for our teams, Isaiah.
Yeah, for our teams, like our wish
Okay,
list, I guess, for the
so
offseason.
easily for me, I'll just start first because it's pretty simple. If Artie Moreno sold the Angels, if the stadium audit goes wrong and he has to pour too much money into it, that he has to sell the team. For Tyler Skaggs, for that case, and you've heard how bad that's getting. Um, if somehow the family comes out with the ruling in their favor and they get awarded like 200 to $300 million from the Artie Moreno and the Angels, um, anything to get Artie Moreno out on the field. If they could get, they already made a trade. Remember for Grayson Rodriguez for Taylor Ward, but they also need center field, a true center fielder. They probably need a couple more starters. Um, maybe another third baseman. We know Rendon won't really play. Maybe one of those utility infielders. But that's pretty much it. I know they're going to lose next year anyway, so that's all I have. What about for your team? So what's your off-season MLB wish list?
Well,
Wish.
number one, I want the Rangers to not rebuild. I mean, like you have still a good core. Like, why are you trying to rebuild? Like, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. If they trade Corey Seager, like James, you're not gonna see me for 3 weeks. I'll be hiding. I'll be
Thank
in my
God.
house. I'll be in my house with the lights all shut and a bottle of whiskey on the floor next to me. That's how.
What?
Yeah, I'll be like that. But for the
You
Rangers,
can't
if
be
they're trying to,
whiskey. Stop.
hey, if they're trying to win, okay. My wish list for the catching position is either Adley Rushman or Sean Murphy. I want Adley Rushman because I think that, he fits the mold of a guy that's young, a guy that can be your catcher for like 10 years. And plus, he's got a good bat and he's got immense talent because he was the number one overall pick for a reason. And plus, I think Baltimore's like ready to trade him because they have another guy. I forget his name. That's, taking his spot that they just signed to a big extension as a rookie that they like really much. So I want Adley Rushman or Sean Murphy as a catcher. And then I want the Rangers to bring back Merrill Kelly. I think that he was very solid. We do need another starting pitcher. I don't know if I don't think he's going to cost that much. He was solid with Texas, so I do want to, see him be re-signed. And then I think number three on my wish list would be I want to see the Rangers go out and maybe get a Bregman because if you can trade Josh Young, who is injury prone, but he's like fallen off a lot as a hitter, and also like the defense has fallen off. Go get a Bregman. Like, why not? Go get a Bregman if you're trying to win, like a short term deal. Try to do that, or maybe go get a Luis Arise, which will help you. So that's what I want for the Rangers. For the Phillies, I mean, it's simple. Trade Nick Castellanos. He's a cancer in the locker room. Get rid of
Anybody
Rob
want him
Thompson.
though?
I don't know. I could see a rebuilding team take him on. I could see it. Like I could see like the A's taking him on just for like to get over
Yeah.
that the cap floor or to spend money
Yeah.
and stuff. Could see the Angels taking him somehow.
No.
Uh,
God no. They need a
uh,
center fielder, not a right fielder who sucks at fielding.
you know who I could see you guys because you said you need a third baseman, right? I could see you guys.
Yeah.
I could see you guys taking Alec Bohm.
Oh God.
I could see that, dude. Like I could see it. Like because the Phillies and Angels have always made trades with each other. It seems like so. I
But
could
isn't he
see.
a free agent though?
I think he is actually.
Yeah.
So I could
So
see you signing him. But yeah, I mean, for like the Phillies, I think it's simple: trading the Castellanos, find a way to get some dirty pictures of Rob Thompson, and get his ass out because you're not going to win anything with him as the manager there.
yeah. Okay.
And bring in Bruce Bochy. I know that's a like wishful thinking, but yeah, those are my wishes for the Phillies. They don't really have any needs. It seems like outfield. Resign
Or
Schwarber
health.
because Schwarber, yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that's the big one.
that's the big one, yeah.
Yeah. The fact that both aces had left in the last month of the season, that really hurt the team, of course. Um,
The
so
Nola
you,
contract is looking like an albatross, dude. We still got like 5 more years of that, and he's been injured, and he's been like
yeah,
pitching with a 6 point something ERA.
it was just that timing of it just was really bad last season. Let's get to the NBA segment. Our biggest surprises and disappointments of the first month of the season. And I think you know where I'm going with the biggest surprise. Um, do we want to? I'll do for each conference. I'll do good and bad. So for the Eastern
Okay.
Conference, it's obviously for me. I didn't expect the Pistons to be 15-2, but I expected them to be a good team. The surprise is right below them in the second seed, and that is the Toronto Raptors are 13-5. What the hell is going on up there? Maybe they're off to a great start, but yeah, 15-5. I don't think anybody ever had that. The bad surprise, though, um, I think how bad the Pacers are. I know they're without Halliburton and Turner, but to be 2-15, in the 14th place in the conference, I think that's miserable. I didn't expect that. I thought they would be competing a little more and winning some more games, but I guess when you're missing your best player, shoot, I don't know how that's happening. Okay, biggest surprise in the Western Conference, good surprise would be the Phoenix Suns. They're 11-7. That might not be a big surprise, but when they made the trade for Kevin Durant, who played chicken. He didn't play against the Suns tonight. He had a personal reason, but he'll probably play tomorrow in San Francisco. But yeah, the Suns I didn't expect to be 11-7. I thought they would be near the bottom. Now you know where I'm going for my bad surprise in the Western Conference, right?
Let
Oh no, what the hell?
the Pelicans.
No, because they'll never be good.
Oh, okay.
The
I don't want to spoil it, but I think I know where you're going.
Clippers. They're 5-12. Kawhi got hurt for 3 games. Um, Maybe he took a vacation and came back, but they are just disappointing. The trades that they made, getting rid of Norman Powell, just really hurt their offense. They brought in all these veterans, and they're not doing a damn thing for the team. It was just a bad trade. The Clippers always make bad trades. Um, I would really look into firing Lawrence Frank if I was um, Steve Ballmer and them, but I know they won't. But yeah, the Clippers are 5-12, and they're supposed to be competing for a championship. That's just not good right now. They're milking whatever they can out of James Harden. He had 55 in a win over Charlotte. But to have to do that against Charlotte it just shows how desperate they are for a win, and they hardly can get them. So those are my biggest disappointments and surprises for the NBA so far. What do you think?
All right, so my biggest surprises. Let's start in the East. The Chicago Bulls. I
Yeah, yeah,
thought like they started off hot. I know they've kind of tapered down a little bit, but still got to recognize them. I thought they would start like really bad to start the season. I know they gave Billy Donovan an extension before the season happened. But look, the young players are playing well. You know, Matas Buzelis, I think that's his name. He's really come on strong. You know, the Bulls, like they call them the cardiac Bulls, James, on NBC Sports Chicago. Because the Bulls are always winning games at the buzzer, or they're winning games in like thrilling fashion. You know, Nikola Vucevic hit a game winner the other day, which was crazy. But yeah, like the young players and the vets that we all thought were washed up, right? Like Vucevic, who's rotting in Chicago. You know, they've actually played well, and they might be contenders in an Anthony Davis trade potentially if that sweepstakes opens up there for Chicago. But yeah, the Bulls are been a mild surprise there. As far as did you do two good Eastern Conference teams, or did you just do one?
One bad, one good.
Okay,
for
okay.
each.
For the bad in the East, the Bucks. I mean, they are right now at the bottom. They're kind of like what we thought of the Ravens, where it was like, okay, they start off bad, really bad, but it's like you expect them to be in it, but I don't know, man. The team looks disoriented. They look disorganized. It seems like Giannis has one foot out the door. Miles Turner is questioning why fans are booing him, even though like he personally left Indiana. But yeah, the Bucks, like they don't have a point guard. Like they tried so many combinations. They just look out of sorts right now. I know Giannis is playing well, but other than that, nobody else is. So that's the bad in the East. Good in the West. I'm gonna agree with you. The Golden State
Looks like Isaiah has some. Uh, he'll be back pretty soon. But you mentioned the Golden State Warriors and how they've been decent this year. Um, I'm sorry, they're 10-9.
Sorry,
In
I
my
pressed the wrong
Go
button.
ahead, Isaiah.
Yeah, I would say it's the Phoenix Suns as well. Devin Booker looks like he has his joy back. You know, they're playing like team basketball. They're moving the basketball. They're playing well defensively. And how about Grayson Allen? Let's give him some recognition. I mean, I've always known he's a great player. He just never had the opportunity. Well, he's now having the opportunity, and he's been lights out from downtown. So I'm gonna go with the Suns. I think everybody had the Suns in the cellar, including myself, but what the Suns are doing is really good, and it's a testament to hey, we don't need super teams to win in the NBA. And then the bad team, oh shoot,
How about the
you know,
Grizzlies?
yeah, I could go with the Grizzlies, but I could also go with I can go with the Sacramento Kings. I know
Mm,
nobody expected them to be like a playoff team, but you know, nobody expected them to be this bad as well, like defensively. Like I thought they would be decent, maybe okay defensively, but Doug Christie should never have been hired as the permanent head coach. He looked
no.
way in over his head.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then like look at they're like the Chicago Bulls before with DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine. They have DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine on the same team again, and they expected different results. What did you
Mhm.
expect? And then you add Russell Westbrook to the mix. Like, what do you expect? Well, no wonder why you're losing. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
You
I
you remember like
expected that from them.
you remember when the Kings back when they had like Tyreek Evans and DeMarcus Cousins and they had all
Oh
these
yeah.
guards on their team? Like I was like, what are you
Oh
even
yeah.
doing, dude? Oh,
Then they had a Rondo one year and
Ron,
whatever, but
yeah, Rondo and Evans, and they had one more. They had Rondo, they had someone else, and then they had Tyreek Evans, and they were all guards.
yeah. I just feel like they're gonna trade Sabonis eventually, and then who's the other one that they have? Zach LaVine. Probably trade him as
Does anybody
well.
even want him honestly at this point with his contract? Because he's got
That's
what
true.
3 years left, I think, right?
Yeah, that's true. But
Yeah.
maybe someone get desperate from some scoring. Let's say somebody has a somebody has a really great scorer, but they have a massive injury and they're out for the year. Then I can see that happening. All right, the second one. So I talked about the Hornets. I think I did. Maybe I didn't. But No, I saw them. So they're 4-13. I watched them play on Saturday against the Clippers, and they ended up losing. They have some young talent there. The names are gonna bug me, but Braxton Miller, and then you have Kneppel out of Duke. Remember that he was their first round pick this draft. Miles Bridges, Colin Sexton, Grant Williams. That's pretty much it, right? Mason Plumlee, not much, right? So Lamelo Ball has been there since what 2020, 2021
2020.
season.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So there's been rumors out there that he reportedly is unhappy and he wants out of Charlotte and he wants a trade. Now I thought that would have happened last year and the year before maybe, but he's been injured. This year, he's missed some games, but most part he's been healthy. Um, I think it's time you finally trade him now. The Clippers are in the mix. Um, I can't remember anybody else. Maybe
The
I
Warriors
haven't.
were one of the teams that were interested reportedly. The Pistons, I
Yikes!
think. The Raptors, another team too.
Wow. So with all
Indiana
those,
too.
not anymore.
True.
Well, man, and they extended him, right? Or am I tripping? I think they extended
Yeah,
him
he's on
too.
like a max extension, like that
Yeah.
rookie max extension thing.
So you don't have to worry about like, oh, how long he's gonna be with you, depending on where he gets traded. Um, but you think that he's gonna actually get traded this season, or is he gonna just suffer through another season?
Not surprised that he wants out because they have too many guards. Like they have Canupo, they have
Colin Sexton.
Colin Sexton, they have Miller, like they have too many guards. Like, and here's the thing. LaMelo, like he's showing like right now, the reason why like he's getting benched is because of effort and lack of defense. Like he's getting benched late in the games because he doesn't play defense. And he's also getting benched sometimes because of lack of effort. So like a lot of it is on him. So I think he needs like a change of scenery. I think that, there's just been so much losing going on and he's not used to that. They have so many guards. They don't like they have a different front office than the one that drafted him now. So I think his days in Charlotte are numbered. And I think he should have been gone last year, honestly, from
Yeah.
Charlotte. But in terms of like a team that could get him, I've always said this: the Golden State Warriors should have drafted him with the number 2 overall pick over James
No.
Wiseman. Because James, the thing is that people don't realize the Warriors, they didn't need a back to the basket center. They've never played a style of play that requires a back to the basket, like post up type of big man that was Wiseman. Um, so that's why like I knew that when they drafted Wiseman over Ball, I was like, oh shoot, this is a terrible pick. But look, I think if you get like I know they traded a lot for Jimmy Butler, but it seems like look, you have Steph, you have Butler right now in the fold there. Pajemski, Kuminga seem like they're kind of on the outs of Golden State, like they just don't fit. Like, why not have LaMelo be that player that you should have had like in 2020, where he plays the Jordan Poole role, which is like a guy that a lethal guard coming off the bench when Curry is sitting. And I think that that would really help. And then sometimes you could also run like, Curry, Butler, LaMelo, and then you have a bunch of great passers and a bunch of guys with great shooting abilities and creating abilities. Like I think you could do that. That's why if I'm Golden State, I'd be front in line to trade for him. In terms of the other ones, like I don't know, like who do you like do the Clippers make sense for him? Like I don't know your team. Like do you guys?
Okay,
I could see
so
it just because Bomber likes the flash.
they don't have like a true point guard starting for the Clippers. It's basically James Harden, you know. Norman Powell was the kind of the guard, but he was also a shooting guard last year and traded him away. So in a sense, they don't really have a true point guard. I know those like are dying form. Everybody's a shooting guard now. Um, so it would be good but it just depends how much they would have to give. And remember, they've already lost draft picks in trades, right? Like Oklahoma City is going to get the first round pick from the Clippers in the next draft. And right now it would be a top 10 pick. So, and then with the whole aspiration scandal, the league will come down hard on the Clippers, so they're going to lose even more draft picks. So they're not going to be able to give much away in trades. So the Clippers, even though they were the first rumored, they're not a factor because of what's going to happen and what has happened with draft picks leaving the franchise. So I would throw that
Yeah,
away.
that's true.
I would be worried about the Pistons just breaking up what they already have with Cade Cunningham. I would not try to knife into that at all. It would, I know Miami, where they want to trade in division. They just
Oh,
got
right.
Hero back tonight. But I always Miami for anybody. That's always a destination because of money, because of no sales tax or whatever, no state tax, excuse me. That's always a destination. It's always Miami.
That's
And the
that's
fact
not
that
a
they
good
don't have
that's not a good destination for Lamelo though, because if he's already not giving effort in Charlotte and he's getting benched for that, he's benched for lack of defense. Just imagine him in Charlotte. I mean, in Miami, partying it up. Like, dude's gonna come to practice hungover every day. Pretty much, yeah. He's gonna
yeah.
come to practice
So
hungover every day.
okay, when I was thinking about Wiseman real quick, with the Warriors and why they drafted him instead of Lamelo. First thing I was thinking they drafted him and Jordan Bell at separate times, but it was to replace Draymond Green at some point, right? They would learn under Draymond, and eventually they would let Draymond go, and they would have a younger Draymond. But obviously that failed twice. With Lamelo, though, I was always worried if he went to the Warriors, how would that disrupt the flow of Stephen Curry and how much he needs the ball? And then you throw Butler into it. But maybe LaMelo can facilitate and you can set screens for Curry and Butler and you'll get more open looks without the needing to bring the ball up for Curry. So maybe that could work, but also like how much does the Warriors have to give to the Hornets? And you mentioned the two players there. Kaminga, even though he's putting up good numbers, he wants to get the hell out of there. And then Polzinski, he's a good bench player. So maybe they have the names to do it. I don't know if they'll do it though. I don't know if they'll take that risk and add on another big contract like they did with Wiggins. That's going to be interesting to see what happens. That is true. All right. A final NBA topic of the evening. Chris Paul, a couple of days ago, said he's going to retire at the end of the season. I could see his first game in preseason here in Oceanside as they played some Chinese team, the Lions, that had Oladipo on it. And Oladipo now is on the Bucks G League team, I want to say. Anyway, Chris Paul, he's a 12-time All-Star, 5-time assist champion, out of Wake Forest back in 2005, the Hornets, among other teams. 11-time All-Star, 9-time All-Defensive Team, 6-time Still Champ, like I mentioned, or Rookie of the Year in 06, 75 anniversary team, All-Star Game MVP, 2013. This is his how many years? 18. Let's see. Hold on. Oh, I was wrong. 21 years in the NBA, and this is going to be his last season. This season, man, he's only averaging, I want to say, it was like 3 points a game. He's coming off the bench. 2.5 points a game. His average actually has gone down the last few years. No more MVP votes or anything like that. He was just amazing as an LA Clipper. You saw that with the Hornets. But it seemed like every every playoff season they really needed him on whatever team, he would have a hamstring issue that would just hinder a team's chances. You saw that with the Clippers, you saw that with the Rockets, and now he's not making playoffs. Chris Paul, though, great leader, great uh, um, team oriented person. I know his leadership skills are a little, not liked by other players. Like the whole beef with Lob City and Blake Griffin and DeAndre Jordan. Just with all the losses and all the expectations, I went through it all. I saw it all. But he's their best player, obviously, with the Clippers of all time, and he'll be missed. But it feels like he should. And I hate to slight him right now, but he should retire like tomorrow. He should really stop playing tomorrow. He's just not. He's not getting anything done with the Clippers, and I'm just sad to say that. But this will be his 21st and final season, Isaiah.
Yeah, I'm not really a surprise. I thought that this was gonna have be the case when he signed with the Clippers, that this was his farewell tour.
Mm-hmm.
You know, legendary player. He was a pain in the ass to deal with when the Lakers would play the Hornets in the playoffs. I remember that series.
Aw, wait.
Even though we won that series, then the next series we lost to the Mavericks in 2011. The
Oh,
dude was
2011. Yeah.
yeah, he was like a pain in the ass to deal with. He's kind of like that player, like what should have been. He's that what should have been type player where it's like if he doesn't get hurt in those big moments, those big playoffs, like what could have been? Could he have been a guy with like
Traded to the
multiple?
Lakers instead the Clippers if David Stern
Yeah,
didn't
yeah,
veto that
another what?
trade. He
Right,
would
what
have
could have been like
worked with
what
Kobe and maybe that would have
Saul?
worked, maybe not. Yeah.
Yeah. And then it's like, what could have been like had he not signed with the Spurs last year, signed with LeBron, are they winning? I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, like it's just a lot of like I feel like a lot of things got into his way of becoming great. I mean, he's great. He'll be a Hall of Famer, but
Hmm.
he could have been a lot more. And I think that like he had a legendary career, definitely a point guard, like they said. His ability to see the floor and make great passes. His clutch, like his mid range, James was
Hmm.
absolutely
Hmm.
so underrated. And then like as he got older, he actually became a better 3-point shooter too. So
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
yeah, so yeah, he just great aspects of his game to point out, but he definitely will be missed. And yeah, he should have retired like I think last year to be honest.
Yeah.
But he's gonna be missed. But I feel like the NBA now, like with Chris Paul, that style of point guard, like he's gonna be the
Extinct.
one of the yeah, it's kind of like extinct. Like he's not gonna like those types of point guards you're never gonna see ever again. So yeah, we
Yeah.
got to enjoy Chris Paul during this last year.
Definitely. It's hard to it's
Yeah.
hard to this. By
Has
the
he been
way, we
playing?
play. Yeah, he comes off the bench, but he only plays like maybe 10 minutes a game or a little
Oh,
more.
okay. He'll
Now
be a
we
coach
play each
one day.
other. Oh, I hope so. That'd be cool. We play each other tomorrow at crypto.com arena. It will be the Clippers and the Lakers on NBC at 8 o'clock.
Ooh.
So after I get home from work, I'll come and tune into that. Um, yeah, it's we'll see. The Lakers they're on a roll for sure. Getting
Yep.
LeBron back last weekend. All right, so Thanksgiving fun, which I know nothing of fun, sports
You
wise, of
want me to
course.
take this? You want me to
No.
host this
I will
segment?
take
You got it.
no. I will say what I'm thankful for, and then I will leave because it will be very, very
Well,
short.
well, first before you leave, like before we get to the thankful part, since we're in the Thanksgiving fun, I gotta ask you, dude. Since
Oh boy.
I gotta ask you this question, because we know you like to we know you like to eat, and I like to eat too. So Thanksgiving's
Man.
coming up. That means big meal is coming up. What doesn't belong on this picture, in your opinion? We got the ham, we got the turkey, we got the pump, like the cranberry sauce, we got the pecan pie, we got the gravy, the mashed potatoes. I think that's the butter for the rolls, and then we
Hell yeah.
got the stuffing over there, and then we got some salad. What if you like? if you had to say something does not belong
Okay.
on this table, what is it?
I've never had pecan pie,
Okay, I agree.
so I would say get rid of the pecan pie and give me the straight up pumpkin pie
Yes,
with some
yes.
whipped cream. That's simple. Like that's a
Oh hell yeah.
Thanksgiving. That's easy. My favorite was it my favorite Thanksgiving item, the food wise. Man, I think it's now. Call me whatever you want. I don't care. But it's literally the the rolls with butter and gravy.
Oh,
Like
okay, okay.
I could just have that. Like I could be a vegetarian that day and just have a bunch of them.
You can have the
But any
salad if you want.
no, I can have that anytime. Yeah, so yeah, give me the rolls, but not the Hawaiian ones. I hate those. The King Hawaiian ones, those are
Yeah, yeah.
terrible. I never liked them. No offense, but uh yeah, I could have anything with gravy. Green bean casserole good. I don't like cranberry sauce though. I don't
Yeah,
like
I'm not a big fan of cranberry sauce either.
I've always hated that. I've tried it a couple, not a couple times, but sometimes I'm like, nah, I'm good. Um, I like I like ham over turkey,
Okay.
surprisingly. Um, macaroni and cheese is always cool. Like if they put shells with cheese inside, I love that. Um, but yeah, I'm real simple. I think green bean casserole is great, but especially when it's breaded a little bit. But yeah, the bread rolls, especially when they're done very well and they're hot right away. I love that.
All right.
But
Before you get to the thankful part, I just want to
yeah,
say for me it's simple. Like you said, pecan pie out, pumpkin pie in, especially the ones from Costco, James. I don't know if you ever seen the ones
I've
from
never
Costco.
had them before.
You oh my god. Hey, I
YouTube.
I gotta mail not mail you a piece, but
Ew.
that'd be like all moldy and stuff. But you gotta try it. They're perfect. Like they're perfectly like seasoned, perfect. It's not too sweet. It's not too like
Seasoned.
the yeah, like it's not too like cinnamon, not too much cinnamon or herbs. Um,
Cinnamon. What the
yeah,
hell
like
are they? Wait, what?
no,
Whoa. In pumpkin pie, they're putting cinnamon.
no, in the pumpkin pie, like the filling, right? The filling, it has like pumpkin and it's got some like nutmeg and cinnamon and stuff in
I've
it.
never tasted cinnamon. What the hell?
You didn't know there was cinnamon in pumpkin pie?
No, what the hell?
But yeah, like it's the filling is like perfect. It's not too liquidy. It's just like perfect, and it's just so I love Costco pumpkin pie. So take the pecan pie out, get the Costco pumpkin pie in, and then I would say the other one would be, and like I gotta disagree with you. Um, remove the ham because like I think for me like, and I like ham, but I think ham is more for Christmas instead of like
Ooh,
Thanksgiving.
okay.
Like
Yeah.
yeah,
But
like
people say Christmas turkey though.
tr- well, I don't know because like for
See?
me, it's like I feel like Christmas is for like you can have a turkey for Christmas. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like Christmas is for like ham or for like prime
I
rib.
never
Like
heard Christmas ham before. I only heard
really?
Christmas turkey. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I mean, I've always heard of Thanksgiving turkey. I don't. I've never heard of
Yeah,
like
Thanksgiving
Thanksgiving
turkey, Christmas turkey. I've never heard of
Christmas.
like
Yeah, yeah.
people say ham for it.
Uh, oh, how about the corn? Do you like corn?
No, because I can have that any day.
How about the stuffing? Are we?
Oh, okay. I forgot all about that. But I want it without the onion, if I could, and the green onions or whatever.
Uh huh.
And it just has to be like cooked really like some people do it and it's like what is it called? It's
Mushy.
yeah, it's like it doesn't have the brown color and it feels like it's not even cooked all the way. The way that it is just like it's not like hard or whatever. It's just it's sloppy. It feels like I hate that stuffing. Like you ever heard of stovetop stuffing?
Yeah, I'm.
Like
We're actually. I'm actually. By the way, I'm cooking my family's Thanksgiving dinner, so that should be interesting. Um,
wow,
but yeah, that's what we're cooking is the stovetop Thanksgiving stuffing,
wow. Okay,
the
so yeah,
turkey flavored one.
I yeah, just the stuffing has to be like brown and fully, not just like not not liquid, just like packed together, not broken apart, basically.
Okay, let's get to this thankful for. I want to hear yours.
Okay,
I want to, or do you want me to go first on that?
no, I'll go first. I want to get the hell out of here because I don't have
All
much.
right.
Like I said,
You don't want to hear the gobble
um,
gobble turkey thing again?
the hell.
Uh,
No, I don't. I just realized what that was. I'm sorry. Yeah. No, I'm good. Um, okay. What I'm thankful for in sports is this? Is that what it is?
yeah, it's what are you
What
thankful for
thankful
in
for
sports? Like
in
this
2025?
year of 2025. Yes,
Do you
I
realize
got some stuff
what
already.
what teams that I have? Like, do you realize
Yeah, I
like
know, but
I
hey,
have
there's still good. There's
nothing at all. Like I got
bro, you
nothing
could
at all.
say that Kurt Suzuki's the new manager. You're excited about that. Brady Anderson's coming back. I don't know. There's something to find. You can find something. Come on, man.
No, I have nothing at all to be thankful. I guess I'm thankful that there isn't a lockout or a strike that is going on. Um Now we can say differently about that with MLB in, after December 1st of 2026. Now that would be different, right? But for me, look at my teams. I have nothing to be thankful for. Um, I am thankful. Okay, one thing I'll say, one thing only. That Front Wave Arena here in Oceanside. I am a season ticket holder of the San Diego Clippers. So I am thankful that I get to go 2 miles that way and watch G League basketball, and that this Thanksgiving weekend, Bronny James, maybe with the South Bay Lakers, will come down and play a doubleheader Saturday and Sunday. So I'm thankful to see that. They also have other events there, whatever, right? So I'm thankful that I think there will be 2 arena football teams there this spring. Um, Other from that, dude, I have nothing at all to be thankful about. Like all the Raiders suck, Angels suck, Clippers suck. Um, I'm not much into hockey,
USC's
of
been
course.
good. USC's
Oh,
playing
okay.
good.
Yeah, I guess that would be the other thing. USC, you know, is going to be what 9-3 if they beat UCLA, so that's good too. Um, it's better than the other years have been, but you always want more, and I never expect more. So I think that's it. Okay, I'm gonna say this and be Petty White or Richard Petty. The fact that I'm not working at certain networks anymore covering sports, I think that would be something. Um, Not knowing certain people in sports that I used to has been a godsend. Um, like I still know you, which is a miracle. I should have got rid of you a long time ago. I'm kidding, of course, or else I wouldn't be here. Um, but yeah, I think I'm thankful for not having like headaches and on other networks trying to maintain one network and then getting nothing from another one. I'm kind of thankful for Halos in the infield, but I'm not doing as much with them just because it's the Angels and they suck. Um, I don't know much Ducks hockey, and they cover Ducks hockey. I'm going. By the way, December 5th, I'm going to a game against Capitals.
Yes,
So I'm
you are,
thankful.
bro. Yes, you are. Let's go.
So I'm thankful, I
No,
guess,
shut
to
up.
go freeze inside the pond over there in Anaheim. But other from that, I guess I'm thankful I'm not. I'm thankful I'm not being held back on the network and not knowing certain people anymore, and just being me and being happy, even though my team sucked. I could watch college football. I think I'm thankful for it too this year. Let me say that college football. So we've had some really great matchups. We've had some crazy top 25 poll movements. Remember that one week there was like 20 schools that moved up or down, other from Ohio State? Like that week was fun trying to figure out like, oh, who's going to move up, 5 spots? Who's going to go down 10 spots like Texas did? Remember they went from 10 to 20. So that's been fun. We'll see how the new format is with the 4 first buys. But yeah, that's all I have really. I don't have anything else.
First of all, we're not reading any of these inflammatory comments that are there. I don't know if you can see them. It's
Oh wait, I'm
uh,
on the wrong comments, dog. Hold on.
uh,
Wait.
we're not
Wait.
we're not reading any
I
of
did.
these.
Is it good or bad? Because I don't see anything.
Well, first these are from Steven. So before I give my thankful stuff, how about the
Steven,
Bulls for Lamelo? How about the Bulls?
I don't see anything.
Right here. It's on
Oh, it's
it's
on
on the
Facebook.
yeah, it's on Facebook. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
Facebook. Okay, no wonder I
So
don't see.
Steven writes how well he's using the MI6 Sports Network account as a comment. So he says, "How about the Bulls?" Because he lives in the Windy City. Lonzo and Lamelo reunion, James. I mean, Bulls are playing good.
Okay, but they're only like it's the only beginning of the season.
Yeah, and then we're not reading the next two.
You have to,
Oh shit. Okay, this is not a PG show. Okay.
or
He
let me read
says
it.
I right here.
Put it up.
I did.
What does it say?
This is the first one.
Isaiah's yeah. Isaiah's
Oh,
thankful
if
for celebrate.
if you
Oh
if you
wow.
think this one's bad,
Oh, I got a
screw
picture.
you.
I gotta show. I gotta show
You
everyone.
Steven. No,
I got a
this one's
picture.
even worse.
I got a picture to show
Look at this.
people.
Look
Actually,
at this. Look at this. Look at
it
this.
says probably Mac. He has
You're an
probably has
asshole.
mac and nuts on his
You're
Thanksgiving.
an asshole. You're an
He's
asshole.
licking them too. Sure.
Hey, nah, bro. But yeah,
I
for
should
my
get out
thing,
of here,
dude, you're
huh?
not showing it, bro. You're not gonna show that.
Then I can leave, right?
What? No, you gotta hear
I'll
my
either show it
Thanksgiving,
or I'll leave. I'll
bro.
show it or
You
I'll
gotta,
leave.
hey, you gotta hear my
5,
Thanksgiving. Hey,
4.
look who was at the Niner game, by the way, today.
Oh my! Don't. Is
Yeah,
that him?
but
Oh my god!
yeah, it's Macklin celebrating Will Smith. But yeah, you can. Yeah, nah, you're out of here. Just leave. Just leave. Screw off. But
Who?
nah.
Who's the guy in the middle with the halo emoji?
Oh, that guy. I don't
Who is
know. I
that?
guess it's probably like the person that's getting the picture. They probably just were like, I don't want them to show my face.
Shouldn't they be because those are kids on the other those are kids on the other two on the other two. They should be covering their faces, because that's the age group that you like is
Oh,
them.
you're wrong. Screw
I'm
off.
gonna get out of here before
All
FBI come
right,
off
dog. Happy Thanksgiving.
later.
But
Yeah, same.
um, for me, I'm thankful for I am thankful for Steven was right. I am thankful for Macklin Celebrini because he has saved hockey in the Bay Area. And I mean, he's brought so much joy to San Jose. The Sharks are one of the biggest surprises in all of hockey, and he's so much fun to watch. Just look what he's been doing. I mean, second year in the league, and he's already having in the MVP conversation. And He's just been so much fun to watch, and he's brought so much joy to the Bay. And Sharks fans, including myself, I've been to a lot of games. They are coming back to games now, so it's been a lot of fun to watch with Celebrini there. And then for the second thing I'm thankful for is I am thankful for this man, Brock Purdy, coming back to the Niners. Look, our season, we've won 2 straight since he came back. I know he didn't play well tonight, but still, the season is on. The road to the Super Bowl is back on. So thankful for that, and thankful that Brent Venables has Oklahoma in the playoff chase, because I always liked Brent Venables. I felt like he got unfairly criticized. I know the last year was not great, but I think he's a really good coach, and I actually picked Oklahoma to be in the playoffs this year, so I'm glad I'm getting that right. And then also thankful for, I'm thankful for oh gosh, I'm thankful for, I'm thankful for that we still have Corey Seager. I'm thankful that the Rangers, Jack Leiter had a great year this past year. Patrick Corbin was signed, so a lot of things to be thankful for here in 2025 in the sports world. But guys, it's been a great show. Appreciate everybody for tuning in tonight. Man, we've had a lot of fun, and talked a lot of sports, talked a lot of Thanksgiving fun, had some, comments on the air. But shoot, let's see. Isaiah gotta have fruit cake. Oh gosh, for Christmas. Oh my gosh. But I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Thank you for tuning into our Thanksgiving special tonight. Thank you to Steven, and thank you to Chardot for tuning in. And Chardot, we'll get you on next time for sure on the program. But guys, happy Thanksgiving. Thank you for tuning in. Thankful for y'all, and stay safe, stay healthy, and we will see you again. We will see you again soon, guys. Happy Thanksgiving.
Turkey time, turkey time. Turkey time, turkey time. Turkey time, turkey time. Turkey time, turkey time. Gobble, 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 stop. 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 Turkey time, turkey